Yeah, just before Epi.
Until that, they were the team with the longest roster together of all time.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's been a very stable team, but they have made this one change.
Team
Players that were really
turn
what is going to end up playing in this tournament. Winha hasn't been too many different heroes lately.
Okay.
But it looks like kind of a big change up already. Every time we go to TI, you're just curious about, okay, what heroes are we seeing in the phase, what prioritized by teams in overlap between what it's like, and then
10 seconds remaining.
I don't think this
5
will be
seconds
some
remaining.
stable that will. But I have heard a rumor that this Mirana could.
Newbees turn to ban.
Mirana's gonna be the hero. Okay.
Yeah.
We do know there's an
Team
echo. I see our
Liquid's
audio
turn
guy
to
looking at it
ban.
quite closely, but we'll try and get that sorted out as quickly as we possibly can. Yeah. It's actually something which I was interested to see, like, actually coming into this. Like, obviously, as day one group stage, how do we actually begin our draft? Like Zeus and Beastmaster, if it's not going to be the normal thing. Where does Mirana actually fit into things like this? Like, this is actually, like, it feels like the old Pile I Die style hero that he always
10
used to.
seconds remaining.
Well, he
Sort
didn't
of,
pick it
yeah,
back
don't-
then because he wasn't the captain like he is on Newbee, but it was always something
5
he was around
seconds
for.
remaining.
It's a really interesting 4 after the that it had to the increased damage on level 1. It's obviously a super strong stun if you have any sort of setup to combine it with in the mid lane. It's one of those heroes that can totally offset the balance of the mid. As of late, there hasn't been that much ganking going on toward the mid in the early levels, but Mirana is one of the heroes that can do it. So that's interesting. I was not expecting it to become a first pick. This is the first game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't know if this is going to be a pattern across many matchups, but very interesting to see at least it picked up there. And I am expecting this to be a roaming hero. But obviously one of the benefits of the hero, if it is playable in that position, is that pretty much in every patch it's also
10
playable.
seconds
So
remaining.
it's a flex pick.
I remember when I was doing my prediction pickups for this, I'm like, you know, the
5
first pickup's
seconds
going to be
remaining.
ES because you can pick him in the first phase. He could be 3, he could be roam, he could be whatever. Like, if Mirana becomes that style of hero for at least the group stage of TI, that'll be an interesting little trend to at least set from Newbee. And I do also want to flag out the fact, like you mentioned before, like Weehard joined Team Liquid, but Newbee feels like a very different team since Pile I Die has joined. Since he moved out of SEA, came over to America, and has really seemed to give this team direction along with their coach.
It's a good point though. He's been playing on
10
kind of both sides of the
seconds
world,
remaining.
but not where he's from.
Yeah.
So, at least as of late, he is
Isn't every
Swedish player.
Every team doesn't want to play in Europe.
Newbees turn
Yeah,
to
Europe
six.
has been fierce. Okay, so a little bit to catch up on here, I would say. So we talked about Liquid's opener. When you go Beastmaster Zoot, you have this kind of global presence where when Beast gank, you can follow up with Zeus ulti. If he gets Nimbus with the Aghanim Scepter, you have a lot of damage across the map in that way. But Alchemist is taking it in a slightly different direction. This hero generally
seconds
is
remaining.
played very greedily. You want to fight the jungle, stack camps, and then
5
you
seconds
ideally want to
remaining.
have heroes that can protect him when he does this. So heroes that are high impact with low levels, especially I want to say around the 10 to 15 minute mark is when a lot of teams will try to take towers, invade Alchemist in the jungle, but they pick it now, which they don't know Alchemist's matchup yet. This Ember could be a side lane Ember. And if
do
you
we
wanna,
also know Alchemist's lane? Like,
we don't know Alex
because there was a conversation. I think Fog was actually involved in that, where he's like, you know what, I play my safe lane Alchemist and I still haven't lost my lane. No matter what happens, I still don't lose my lane. So, like, the mid Alchemist is something that we know Weehar for, but is this actually locked towards the mid, especially when you see Zeus picked up too?
Not necessarily. I feel like this opening put Alchemist in safe lane, but I'm excited to see how it goes in this tournament, right? I have this feeling from the past, you know, thing about Alchemist. Okay, if he gets crushed in
10
lane, the recovery
seconds
curve is
remaining.
quite steep.
Yeah.
Sure, you can put him in the safe lane instead of mid, but what if he's countered in
5
both lanes,
seconds
which is
remaining.
what I'm a little bit concerned with here. Newbee can counter him in both lanes by putting Ember safe lane and maybe Svenna's position E with a strong kill lane perhaps, or at least until they picked Sven they had plenty of options. Now maybe they've limited.
There's actually, like, isn't it meant to be where you keep everything very hidden? Like, you're not showing off your lanes at the very, very start, but like it feels like every single hero the Team Liquid's opening up with, like, well, Beastmaster, what are you going to do? Run him as 4s, Zeus and Beastmaster? Like, it feels like they're being very obvious with what's probably going to be at least one of their cores.
Yeah, I think Beast is a core, but
You
like,
run it like AUI.
I mean, it is possible for all of these threes to be
Newbees
very
turn to
unusual.
pick.
Okay, that's a support or an off lane. It could be position 3. Magi is a hero that I think we will quite a bit this tournament. The rest of the year,
Not just in the campaign posters for the MVP, for the Arcana vote.
Receiving some nice buffs, multicast.
10 seconds remaining.
So I believe it's 75% on level 1 to multicast.
5
So it
seconds
works with
remaining.
items, high level fire blast, and he's an innately tanky support in lane, right? High armor, high regen, likes buying stuff, or Orb of Venom. Defensive, so he has option.
You can't do it like, obviously you can't stack the down shield tank.
No,
right,
you only go one. But I think part of the reason Ogre is a very interesting hero is the ability to go position 3 nowadays, because lately we've been seeing a lot of
Team
auras on position
Liquid's
3
turn
in
to
their
bat.
games. And Ogre is one of the heroes that can easily buy these auras because he can farm with the multicast Midas. Tidehunter.
Yeah, so this kind of locks up Newbee's lanes. Like Ember mid, Sven safe, Tide off, and then Mirana roam. So they're actually leaving their position 5 to pick up last.
10 seconds remaining.
We want this Tide to Alchemist in
5
any
seconds
lane.
remaining.
You can also face Alch mid. I feel like that should be a Tidehunter favorite lane. Anchor smash in, take a
Turn to
CS.
ban.
They ban a Bloodseeker as the final.
That's one of the best lane counters to Alch. And this might be an indication that Liquid are planning to put the Alchemist mid because they think the Ember Spirit matchup is good. Maybe they think the Tidehunter match is fine. I haven't really seen that lane played. I'm just theory crafting here about if Tide wins that lane. But
10 seconds
limiting
remaining.
the options here of Newbee. Hard counter Alchemist.
5 seconds remaining.
Maybe Bloodseeker is also good against the last hero Liquid are thinking about. Ogre is 5, 4, but they will last pick Miracle's hero. There's nothing here that says Miracle to you.
No. Not unless he's, well, if he was running the mid lane, then it
He
would
could be
make
playing
more
the
sense.
Alchemist. The Alchin either the
Newbees
lanes
turn to pick.
get Weehaw last pick.
Yeah. We and Miracle, they're both not foreignist. But it's where you want him in the laning phase. What goes well. The Tide comes towards the off lane. It doesn't really feel like Team Liquid have the ability to zone him out. Like if you are running this is a support Zeus and support Ogre, like they're not going to do much to him. And now Newbee do wrap up with a 5th pickup with the Ancient Apparition.
Looks like that for Mirana.
Mm-hmm.
Tide 3, Sven 1, Ember 2, pretty standard for these heroes. They obviously pick the AA
Now
as a
select
solution
your
to
heroes.
that Alchemist, moving the regenerate.
It's a Miracle Alchemist, it's a
Chemical
wee
Rage.
Viper.
Yeah. He could end up having a hard time in the laning stage, honestly. It depends if Newbee can put their lanes correctly. I think my gut tells me that Sven can solo against Beastmaster from level 1. It might be a bit tough. Maybe he needs help for like 1 or 2 minutes from the AA.
Well, do you change it up then for Team
And
Liquid?
then-
Do you push Mind Control into the safe lane for you and actually run like the off lane Alchemist? Because that's what it used to be like with the support Zeus. You go up, you burn everything you've got, and that's meant to help just at least win you the lane.
I know what.
And you die and you come back.
No matter what they do, they want to give Miracle. And the Viper is more than likely going mid. They could put Alch mid and side lane a Viper. That has been done before.
It would be interesting to see the flexibility from Team Liquid, because every time we've watched we play, it's like, hey, Wind Ranger, or it's we in the mid. Like, it's not that dynamic. Hey, we can always just change up our lanes and go wherever we need to go.
Yeah.
So that would at least be interesting to see from Team Liquid, to see what type of Team Liquid we have here at TI19.
It's true. I feel like we'll mainly be seeing Weehaw mid. I think if they make lane adjustments, it's not because it's their priority. It's forced to, or because the benefits just clearly outweighed, but I don't think it's what they're aiming to do with their drafting. We'll see if they try to make these two players very interchangeable in this draft. When they put their lanes with Alchemist now, like you said, he probably wants to dodge into the aggro lane from the enemy. So if Newbee have any interest in contesting him heavily, which I think they should, you don't just let Alchemy farm, it becomes this kind of rock, paper, scissors, you outsmart your opponent where you play the lanes. Both teams are likely to move out aggressively and place wards so that they quickly get information about potential lane swapping. We'll see, there's the smoke coming out from Newbee. Smoking for now. They do, of course, have the big benefit of Beastmasters. Hawk. Kind of an underrated aspect of this hero level 1 is the ability to cover one stairway and see possible lane rotation. Probably going to see this Hawk try to maybe land somewhere in this area over here at the shrine to gather information.
You mean up here, do you?
Not that. Wait. What? Oh yeah.
Over here when I'm the one doing the observing and not seeing your screen.
Oh, you see me drawing on the map.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah,
oh, up here. Okay, yeah, right.
Bullseye, it was right there.
Yeah. Well, just gotta observe correctly, huh?
Yeah.
So the smoke from Newbee won't be able to see the Alchemist, so Miracle's not revealing his lane out. I'm loving the build coming in from GH. 5 mangoes is not enough. He's one shot of a full daiquiri. But he's starting off with his lightning bolt, so it's just straight up single target harassment at the beginning, and Mind Control will run the offlane. Kuro is staying with him for the moment. But it looks like Newbee feel like the best thing to do is run snaking up on the top lane, so we'll be tied up on the safe lane, CC and C in towards the mid, and that gives your off lane to your.
Oh yeah, this actually
makes
this makes way more sense. I don't know why we did. Tidehunter against Beastmaster is a good matchup. So a bit stuck in this way of thinking that, oh, you could leave the Sven alone and go to Tide's lane, but this is better. I would say flat out better. If they get this Tide against Beast matchup, that's a matchup Tide loves, because once you get Kraken Shell level 2, you basically ignore the boars at part, and it allows them to play this very strong aggro tri-lane with Sven, AA, Mirana. This lane is filthy. And Alchemist could struggle. I
was kind of like joking about it before, like, because I just hear the conversations happening at the welcome party. I was like, you know what, an Alchemist, he'll be fine. He'll be totally fine, just as long as, like, there's no way he can lose his lane. But they're definitely going to put that to the test. Snaking is being pushed back underneath this tower. He's got a lot of regen to work with. Miracle, he will really be running this hard drag. Whatever creep you got back underneath the tower and just farm in potential safety.
Very interesting to take this approach. Maybe they're thinking, if we aggro crown, we're not winning our lane anyway, so we could aggro onto the Tide. Oh, he might be in trouble here.
A lot of trouble. He can't move himself back. Kuro's going to body block off, and all that early harassment damage from GH did his work.
So the logic here, we can't win our safe lane with the Alchemist, so we might as well leave him alone, pressure another place on the map, and what our benefit is maybe we can stack some camps. Actually, never mind. They went for the first blood, and now they're coming bottom. Yeah. We're giving Miracle a little bit of a head start on experience by not taking that as 3 heroes. They get him the acid spray that might allow them to play this tri-lane. Zeus, by the way, starting with 5 mangoes.
Yep. 5 mangoes, going in for the boots, having a casual stick. If he is going to be part of this tri-lane versus tri-lane, then it makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's been Weehaw versus CC and C. And so far, CC and C has been pretty heavy on the CS in front of him.
Yep. Don't actually know how this is played.
Highlight eye, and there's that chaining stuns up as a quick pause. CC and C, hotkeys, not so great. But Highlight Eye, also not so great. Caught inside the acid spray, but all the stuns and bolts have already been used.
He has another bolt in 3. I think if Koro gets in 1 more hit and Alk gets in 1 more hit, Alchemist is stunned. I think Pilot Eye might survive this. It's gonna be, yeah, he's 1 more hit and a bolt would have done.
UI even made sure they had a little bit more space. So they'll burn the south and back up. Keep your eyes on the runes.
So even though there is this head start for Mind Control top from the first blood, going the way of Liquid, Mind Control did not get that kill. We got a bit of the AoE gold. I think Snaking should be taking control top, so it's important for Liquid that if they are helping Miracle with these 2 heroes, it needs to be worth it. Currently he's sitting on 4 CS min at 2.5, and that's not great.
Yeah.
And as you said, Weehaw is not winning mid lane either against CCN, so far I would say a pretty good start for Newbee overall. So
and CCNC's not letting up on the aggression. He's staying up in the face of Weehaw. Wee's already forced to salve up. He had his opportunity because Sleight of Fist was used.
Another benefit of the Mirana, we're seeing that right there. Didn't put that, but of course can one-shot those neutral creeps. Arrow,
Dire's
the big
bottom
Wild
tower
Wing.
is under attack.
Playing these Tri-Lanes, that could be a very nice farm. Experience and gold for them. Obviously, if Liquid are nearby to the camp, also get experience. We want to try to potentially zone them away or try to farm these big creeps while Liquid's doing something else.
I always feel like Liquid are trying to get aggressive on this bottom lane, but they're not finding the opportunity to do so. Paradise moved to a very defensive position, always behind Yoa.
Sven is not a good target. That's one of Alchemist's biggest weak. Laning is terrible. But he doesn't offer much in the way of offense unless you skill on stable concoction, but then your acid spray is weak or your Greevil's Greed is too low level when you want to go for jungle. So maybe Miracle will get one value point, we'll see.
Yeah,
but you
he's
definitely
gone
don't level it beyond that.
2-0-1 for the moment.
Yep. Newbee are very happy right now.
Yeah.
If their lanes are going great, they're winning 3 lanes. I guess, actually not true. Beastmaster is still ahead on net worth up top, but Snake King should be able to slowly overtake him. Look at those boards, take 5 damage per hit.
Yeah,
When he gets up 5, it's 0.
I'm actually just wondering too then, like, is this rotation then Kuro like, yeah, they're really going after Miracle. Have they got enough damage to get the S spray? Can pop up the cold beats, able to trigger. Miracle, he's back underneath the tier 1 tower. Couldn't even get the S spray off. If he did, Yuan may have died a little sooner, but it's still GH and Kuro doing the work. Paradise will make a break up through the trees. And Kuro's trying to stay on him. Has to walk off the cold beat. Time to actually walk towards the north, which means the arrow from MSS able to connect. Vens on the way. They leap in forward, try and body blocking Kuro. GH moving in forward too. Kuro is so low, he's got stick charges available, but GH, the storm ball, it flies forward. At least he got enough range, he can have the cold feet. The GH solo, another leap forward. MSS staying on the aggressive.
Surprised MSS saved these. He could have gone for the Ogre kill perhaps, but maybe felt like he wouldn't have the damage to take him down with the Stout Shield and instead saves the leap, get this other. And now he has another charge in the backpack. Go with, I'm gonna go bottle first. Looking for some runes, minute 6, minute 8 in the bottom area.
Don't also get aggressive in mid. Now that you've got the TPs back, bottle forward from the Ember Spirit, he'll want to get in there, but GH is reading the situation. Puts down a defensive observer ward. They can see the arrows coming from the other side of the trees now.
When you look at this, so Alchemist, this is the build you're going to see on Alch almost every game. 2 bracers. They're trying to put on some aggression here, but he's just too tanky now with these 2 bracers. The magic resist and the health should keep him alive against Yawara. That's a great arrow coming in.
It's flying in. A little bit off target. The cold feet won't trigger either. Miracle's into the trees. But Yuan's going to stay with him, and Miracle blocked in, has to cut his way free. MSS leaves forward, looking for him, can't shoot out the tree line. Support was coming in from GH, but it came way too late.
Yeah, I was like, he's fine. Surely if they start diving the tower, there's going to be some help coming in from either just cooldowns or bad communication, and they end up not getting that. Might get a kill on MSS. No, he will get away.
He's got so many stick charges, and Kuro's got no follow-up.
They just let them dive Miracle for literally 15 seconds.
Yep.
He got no help. Maybe he's wrong.
Yeah, maybe they were as confident as you were too. It's just like, you know what, you're fine, Miracle. Like, you're totally fine. He almost juked him out through the tree lines too. So MSS and Paladai will end up burning the shrine straight back out to being aggressive again.
Miracle's had enough, by the way. He's
Dire's top tower is under
He's
attack.
got his 2-0-2.
Yep.
So that's fine, right? GH is still able to farm at range on this bottom lane.
You've got to still be a little bit concerned though about this hero combination of Viper and Alchemist, because what ends up happening is that they both want to jungle. Viper wants to jungle with the Nether Toxin, and Alchemist wants to jungle with the Acid Spray. So one of them is going to not get the full farm that you would like.
You actually see it from Weeha, right? Like, he's got 4 points up in the poison attack, 1 point in Nether Toxin.
Dire's middle tower is under
It
attack.
hasn't really served him that well either. Hasn't been able to shut down CCNC with this aggressive build, and generally on Viper, if you go for this aggressive build, it's to lane dominate, but CCNC has been fine.
They're coming for Miracle. No observer wards being placed, and Miracle was already aware of this. They walked underneath an observer ward, just planted north of the bottom rune. And now Kuro's trying to do something about Paladai. He's in deep. Viper's moving over too. If Weeha can just get in range for the Viper strike, they can potentially find this kill. The arrow's not helping out, and there was a wild way to catch it out, and there's Paladai stunned up, locked inside the Nether Toxin, and he realized that Nether Toxin would just let him tick. He's already moving back to the mid lane, trying to save.
there's gonna be kills in this area. Both teams have way too much to do here to not go and either scout or fight. Every Alchemist game kind of goes like this. Whether he's played mid or safe lane, he will want to retreat into the jungle, and you want to limit him as much. The Pilot Eye went down here to scout and try to ward, and Miracle has retreated top half of the jungle, where you would imagine we were trying to
Mind control, the Ravage, it's just going to clip him on the edge. Barely on the edge, but the arrow will be able to connect. They just hold him in position. Cannot get a roar off, and Mind control is going to feel pretty sad about that. Put up the Hawk just a little too late to see MSS waiting in the trees.
I actually thought that was miss. That was very close.
Yeah.
Snaking, knowing the limits of the Ravage there.
Sorry, if we've got some downtime, we can watch that in slow motion on our replay in just a bit. Weeha's adding a bit of pressure towards the mid lane. Kuro looking to try and help out to get the kill onto CCNC. Now, there is no Flame Guard available, so CCNC feeling a little pressured. Gets back up the hill, Slider Fist trying to dodge that attack, buying a little bit more time with a phase movement away, but no, it's going to be way too much with Weeha having that double damage rune. And Mind Control's arrived, Vladimir's is up, and they're going to add the pressure to the Tier 1 tower.
Look at the build on Viper too.
Double braces. We're going into Vale.
But not quite.
Okay,
Tanking up.
We've got ourselves a moment. If okay, so here's that Ravage just on the edge, but it actually went a little bit further than that. I saw a tentacle in front.
Maybe I don't know why I felt started further away than he actually did.
Well, he did it in the lane, and he had to do it over a row of trees. So
yeah,
the hedgerow just confused. But we're back and good to go. There's pressure in towards mid. MSS's arrow is coming off cooldown now, but they will not be able to defend this.
This is a huge move. Getting mid tower min at 9. When you have Alchemist, well, in Dota in general, taking towers is good. When you have Alchemist, it's very, very important that you protect your own towers. But if you can, on top of that, which usually is very hard to do, take enemy towers early, you effectively, when you start pushing waves, you buy Alchemist space.
Yeah.
Because the enemy team has to defend further back, and this extra 10 seconds that it takes the wave to cross the river is just more space, more time for Alchemist to analyze the map, to farm as efficient as possible. And this move from Liquid is easily the biggest play of the game so far. So really set them up for.
It actually feels like the kill up on top lane didn't help them out. Now the snaking burnt Ravage, it's like, well, you got the confidence just to keep pushing down these tier 1 towers. Where's the pressure to come from Yuar then? Like, he's still working on his Hand of Midas on bottom lane. The tier 1 tower on bottom lane is taking almost no damage. The Mind Control's ready with his roar. They'll cut through the trees. The creep wave is following, snaking in there. But a lot of this is already scouted out. Newbee have this line of wards that runs the northern side of the map, so they understood just how much Liquid was bringing to bring down that tier 1 tower.
They're gonna let it go again. So what's the trade-off though? Sven's doing some damage bottom.
CPNC, I think, is looking for something in the mid with the Invis rune.
He can't solo kill Alchemist with the He has ulti.
What do? You let a tier 1 tower fall, go down towards bottom lane. Weeha, TP in here, Sex is on the way. TP already on the way from Newbee. Just get away before Ogre is able to complete his TP in. But he finished at the Midas, added pressure, but the tier 1 now still remains alive. And they even bring it within deny range if they want to get rid of that money.
Might just leave it standing for now. He wanted to get a creep, but those fat bodies in the way.
You gotta save the resources on the map. This is
Viper Vale.
This is what we were wondering about, right? Like, how the Alchemist functions. Like, you got that push, you got your timing right. He is now #1 on the net worth. 5.5, 5.6K going his way. Sven and Viper battling for the second position. So it's not like that to sacrifice too much. And a great Thunder, like, the Thunder God's Wrath comes out. So CCNC and Pilot Eye were trying to go for something up on the top, but they're not finding it. Maybe it's time for GA should look for these Observer wards too. Trapped in the trees, Ice Blast. He's actually far out. Maybe they get the kill onto the Ancient Apparition, but nah.
You know, for me, dog. But yeah, it was a good Thunder God's Wrath though. He's got out of the smoke. I just think Mind Control had no escape route. Was kind of cornered there. I don't know if a possible TP could have worked. Maybe he had cooldown. But yeah, at the very least when you results in this kill. But again, you taking any tower damage. You haven't limited Alchemist's space. Apart from the laning stage where they did a good job aggroing him, Miracle's been having a pretty good time.
CNC wrapping around the back. Underneath the Radiant Observer, GH has nowhere to go. Another time up on top, but then again a triple TP. Now the other two going to complete. Kuro does. Mind Control will arrive as well.
That
Radiant's
is very, very low value.
Because the 3 TPs happen, they realize that Miracle has no one to support up on top lane, so Yuat waits as long as he possibly can for the Stormbolt to fly out. Now you're searing chains, and if you need to, the Ravage will pump, and it feels like Snaking needs to. Very liberal with use. But they get the kill on Miracle and bring him down.
Absolutely Ravage that. No regrets for sure on that. And yeah, like you said, this is what happens when you use 3 TPs like this and the enemy team acknowledges it. Miracle has to go back. Should never have stayed this far up in the lane, and that's just flat out a mistake. No backup available. Quick move on him, identifying the situation very nicely.
Radiant's
and that's big. They got 2 core kills in a row, and now they're getting that mid tower damage.
And
Viper will rotate in.
You know, this is game 1 of day 1 of TI, but this is of course TI. There isn't really a period of time where you say like, hey, I'm gonna just wake myself up over a little bit of time. Like it'll take me 1 day before we're ready to fight as a team. Like everything has to be crisp and clean already, and at the moment it feels like Newbee just drafted themselves into a really comfortable position. They're simple to execute, they follow through, and the only ticking time bomb is the Alchemist.
Yeah, if they are able to overpower the Alch, that's another thing, right? When you pick this AA last and you have this insurance against the Alchemist region in the mid game, even if Miracle gets farmed, they will, until he has a BKB, they should be able to just lock him down with chain stuns and AAOV. Liquid's lineup has no save, which is a classic component you sometimes run with Alchemist, like an Oracle, or you know, another defensive support, like maybe even an Omni Knight offlane or something like this to keep the Alchemist safe. Since that's not available, this only 1k gold lead is a bit misleading because you're, first of all, you're ahead on gold against Alchemist minute 14. Good, very good. Secondly, it's about how strong is Alchemist's net worth actually in this game. He should need quite a bit more.
Well, he's going Radiance and the AC. This is, and if you're going to get to the BKB, that's a lot longer.
Yep.
And they're not controlling the bounty runes either. Another critical thing with an Alchemist. 15-minute bounty runes are coming up in a second. MSS will claim both of the bottoms. And Newbee are positioning to actually fight on top. If Liquid want to contest them, they'll take it.
Liquid's on school. They don't want any of this.
Dire's top tower.
But it at least allows Miracle to finish up. The Radiance is coming on the Courier at the moment. Yep. So their team fight's getting a little bit better.
It's just, there seems to be a very clear plan from Newbee's line on how they deal with this guy, right? If he walks into a fight, if a fight begins, you're gonna chain stun him and blow him up, especially a hero like Sven, actually eat quickly with this Echo Saber he has, so gotta be careful. And Liquid's lineup just is slow. They did a great job getting those first 2 towers, but now the heroes are not very mobile. Alchemist and Viper both have to walk around. It takes a long time. Beastmaster has some sort of play capabilities, but he kind of only really plays with Zeus in this game currently. So their lineup clearly has some limitations.
Yeah, they're just trying to scout out. The vision on the map is very defensive for Team Liquid, so they don't really see that much. Like Observer sentries planted over the bottom bounties. Regeneration. So it's not what they're looking for. And now TP incident, Heat already slowed down. Leap from MSS. Kuro tries to go for a revenge dump, but the Ice Blast already connects as well. Viper wants some revenge, but the arrow.
Oh, good arrow.
Long stun, and this buy is snaking enough space to get back.
He still did 1,000 damage tied. Just ulti, Nether Toxin, and 1 poison attack, 1k damage. Gotta be careful. I love this from Snaking. I was thinking you probably go full step in this game because of that. And he has it queued up. We'll see if he buys it before the hood. I really like 4-step for a couple of reasons. First of all, the Nether Toxin for his own sake. It's great to counter that. But also, when you look at Liquid's lineup, how do they start fights? Either Viper Strike or they roar. Yeah. And if the hero that they go on has turned around, Snaky can actually just save any core in his lineup by just forcing them away and then re-engaging himself with the Blink Dagger that he has.
Mind Control's got to get this draw off, but no. Weeha and Kuro, they were both there ready to fight for CNC. Second he finishes his Sleight of Fist, just Remnant's back.
Good read.
Deeper into the jungle.
Not overstaying there.
Man, it just feels like Newbee's getting everything they need. Like Snaking's got the initiation with the Blink Dagger, as you said, with the Force Staff and everything else. But then you're also getting the lane presence. MSS is building in for a straight up Aghanim Scepter. Yep. And we got to remember, like they're basically running 4 core at this point. They're always able to push out the lanes because you'll always clean out the lanes once you got the Aghanim Scepter up. Ember can do the same type of thing. And Zven's clearance is great too.
Shadow.
Try and break the Ember Spirit, Moonlight Shadow defense, and Team Liquid, no detection on the front lines.
Mirana definitely has this ability when the laning stage goes well, her just innate ability to push waves with Starstorm and then farm up and get this Axe puts so much pressure on the Alchemist team to constantly have to go and defend. Yeah, again.
they needed the Roar. Once again, they need the Roar from Mind Control to begin. Just as you were saying, like, what's your initiation?
Radiant's
Ogre
bottom
raises
tower
his
is
fists
under
and
attack.
CCC just spirits away.
If you're paying good attention on Ember, the only way you really die in this game is getting roared from Fog. There's no other play until maybe Mind Control gets a Blink Dagger and surprises an angle you're not watching, or something like this, because yeah, there's no instant stun. Alchemist Concoction has to fly, Ogre has to wind up his arms, he doesn't have a lens so he can't stun you from trees in most places on the map, and yep, that Roar can't connect right now. So CCNC is playing very nicely on the limit here.
Does that actually mean like CCNC can go more aggressive style items? Like he doesn't have to get a Lincoln Sphere, he doesn't feel like he needs to block anything?
I would like to see him go BKB, I think.
Okay.
So what we're seeing here is he's gone the Flame Guard Absorption, and from what I've heard, this build with Flame Guard Absorption into Flame Guard DPS is becoming really popular because it basically doubles the DPS of Flame Guard from 60 to 120. That's the same as 2 Radiances. And then if you BKB, the
Dire
guard can't get broken. So you're just running into the fight, you deal super high amounts of damage, and you're very difficult to focus down because every time people go on you, you're just going to use your Sleight of Fist, Yawar, will be fine.
Smart and easy TP out.
Maybe you have to buy Atos on. Perhaps that would have been a good choice this game over this Veil, just so they have this extra catch that can surprise the Ember or can catch this Sven from TPing away.
It's still going to be projectile though, right? So it's...
But it's fast.
Yeah.
It's fast. And when you have the when you have the range that Atos has, it makes catching Ember a lot easier because there's angles, there are obstacles that Ogre and Beast just don't have because of their lower reach.
Miracles.
Sure, if you cast it from the front on the Ember, he's going to react. But
yeah.
if he's not watching the angle you come from, or if you are, you know, coming out of smoke or out of fog, it's a lot harder.
I'm loving this. I saw Weeha actually line up the BTs before. He's using the Beastmaster Hawk to get to the front line, trying to run around this time. Aurora's out over on CCNC, Snaking will create enough space with the Rabbit, and now Beastmaster, he will fall. Weeha's caught on the wrong side of the tracks, had a lot of help. It's on the way, but the Ice Blast will next first. Paladai will end up dropping to the attacks from down the low ground. Miracle once more with a Moonlight Shadow. They run away. Newbee was trying to contest these bounding wounds once again.
I think that's pretty even, I suppose. It's 1 for 1, but Ravage was used, so you kill a
CCNC's back in.
Oh,
He's not done yet. Get the few cultures ready for Miracle, and they've actually got the control. Arrow flies forward. Everyone will dodge that one. No, they won't. Kura catches in the back lines, so he's trapped where he is. Miracle will fall, and you shouldn't have said anything, Cinderin. Even not anymore. This is going to be Weeha trying to battle for the last, but MSS has to leap and TP out. It will not be successful.
Even I like it.
That is not the way Liquid wanted to have that fight continue.
There's one guy who's happy about this though, and that's GH. He got a solo kill on Tide toward the end of that. So 600 gold. I think he got about a full level, and now has this Aether Lens as well as almost a Force Staff completed. So big scaling possibilities coming in, but this Alchemist kill very noir. The BKB reveal. And again,
Radiant structures
for Liquid, right? You don't have that save. So if your Alchemist gets juked by the
Radiant's
Sven,
top
he has to
tower
run away.
is under
Sven is just the bigger boy right now.
I'm loving this from Paladai. Just puts down the Vortex, sees Kuro, hits him with the Ice Blast. It's the cold feet to trigger, but there's no need for CCNC to get any more aggressive. GH is doing too much damage, and he's already starting to back up. And Team Liquid must have really wanted that fight too. Like the AC being done with the Radiance, like Miracle was ready to get in there. And now they smoke up themselves and they look towards Roshan.
I like this play. No Ravage. You have the Beastmaster Aura, you have the Kiras, you have Bloodlust. This is an easy kill. Holy. Okay, that's a bit faster than I thought it would be. That Medallion.
Even with Ice Blast down because it was used in the mid, like they can't even scout it out.
They give the Aegis to Miracle. Alchemist is one of those heroes that Aegis is a little bit weird because sometimes it's really good, other times it feels almost useless. Obviously, being a transformation-based ulti hero, one of your lives is bound to be without that chemical rage. Depending on the timing in the fight, it can be... Who else would you give it to? You don't want to give it to a Viper. He's not going to get targeted.
giving it to Zeus to pop off everything he's got and come back again.
And then die instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know about that one. Yeah, there's no better Aegis carry in this game. And
Protect the money.
Usually in Alchemist games, you will give it to Alch, because around the time you kill Roche is when Alchemist wants to go high ground. That just doesn't seem like a possibility in this game right now. I don't think Liquid get a chance to...
Look at him come to fight though. Ice Blast is flying forward from Pylai Die. They're just hitting the back line, so GH is already going to go down to CC and C. It was watching Miracle's presence. Where does the stuns come? I get to miss every single kill on this camera.
Kind of just got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
This tower is gone.
It's just like left behind for everyone else. Gets the searing chains off over on Viper. Snaking's moving in with a gush. Viper really slowed down. There you are with a stun and the damage output. No bracer will protect you from that. And he's already I mean, yeah, he's back. Miracle gets the BKB. They need to wait a little longer before that ready to fight this, and Newbie saw the window. Ravage was up. They wanted to get in there.
I don't know. I'm not really feeling this Viper build in this game. I'm not completely sure what. Like maybe this is a good build in a lot of games on Weeha's Viper. I just don't think it solves the problems that Viper innately has in this game. He doesn't have any armor against the Sven and you know, the slight spam from Ember. He's going for Kaya Sanj, so he gets some status resistance against the stuns, which is nice, but the problem is he's kind of just dying to like 3 hits from Sven right now. So I think you have to either go back for a Ghost Scepter or try to get yourself some armor or BKB. The Boots of Travel they've given them 1 or 2 opportunities to take fights, and obviously gives the hero some much needed mobility, but overall I haven't felt it this game. I'm sure we're going to see more Weeha Viper this tournament, or you never know. Maybe it's the only time to play it. But if we do, I would like to see this build be really successful so that we can understand why it is so good. It hasn't really.
I'm also just trying to understand like Team Liquid's mindset coming into the drafting phase. Like we saw the way they picked up very early on. Like you had the Beastmaster and Zeus as your opener, and then you went into this Alchemist. So you're willingly still doing this. This was still your intent. It wasn't because you're forced into it by Newbee with the way they were drafting. So they still had a good plan behind this, a good thought process at least. And that's where like, I still keep my eyes on Miracle. Like, what is he trying to achieve during this game? You're building out BKB up, Abyssal Blade next.
Radiant's middle tower
from GH, let's reveal the fact that CCNC was wrapping around the back. Newbee will grab 3 of the bounty runes out of the 4 once again.
Mirana's getting farmed.
Yeah.
Real farmed. He's overtaken the enemy position 3 now. We were saying GH was getting rich from that kill on Tide, but he's still a full 3,500 gold behind the Mirana on the enemy team, and the only reason this gold graph looks fairly even is that there's an Alchemist.
Yeah.
And Alchemist lineups being behind at the time, especially the experience, is insane. 20,000 XP.
Yeah.
You're this far behind, like you're not. This game is not even right now. Liquid have to try to find a team fight where
they're looking for
they really get to use this Aegis and playing around Miracle.
The roar from Mind Control has to hit perfectly here. CCNC is just farming the wave. They're trying to make the most of nighttime, but he just spirits straight over the top of everyone. CCNC is like he's playing this game perfectly, pushes out just far enough and never too far. There ain't no 50-50 toss-up.
Maybe you need Shadow Blade on this. So that's a reliable way of catching the Ember, but he's going for AB builds so that they feel like they can take team fights, and that's, you know, you got to choose your path on Beast. If you go the Shadow Blade, your team fighting is a lot weaker, but your catch is better, and if you go this fight around Alchemist's timing, because I think Liquid feel like this game cannot go on like this for another 15-20 minutes. Like the Alchemist will fall off eventually. He has some good Axe friends, I suppose, but
they still need to, like, they're gonna get out pushed, right?
Really want to.
Like
yeah.
the Mirana can push in the bottom lane all by herself without any kind of major risk because it's still a 4 position. Yeah. There's doing that. So if you have your BKBs, then you at least have something that allows you to force an issue, like push up high ground and take something quick.
And they have the super low commitment split push of M, and the waves are just constantly being pushed in, so they don't get to use their Aegis. That's
there's your Stormbolt forward. Yua's got all the damage. A long range arrow from MSS connects perfectly. Weeha will fall. Yeah, it won't hit anybody. But it was kind of thinking it should be done. Miracle caught in no man's land. Underneath his own Observer Ward, thanks to the Helicopter Draft. At least he kills off the Observer Ward, moves over towards the Ember Spirit with the BKB. He doesn't have much to work with. Yua's already moved back over. He's got so much damage output. 5 heroes ready to chase around the back, but then the buyback in from Weeha, and they think twice about it.
So again, it's a big win for Newbee. They they killed Weehaw, forced a buyback, and it cost them nothing. Alchemist had to BKB. That's a really big BKB charge.
His net worth is plummeting with this. Like, he's actually almost below full heroes of Newbee.
Yeah. Weehaw's getting this. Yeah, now he's buying armor. Right, there comes the Shiva buildup. Again, I mentioned it before. I think this Kaya Sanj has its place maybe in some Viper games. To me, this is not one of them, and this has really slowed down his item progression. I would have loved to see at least the plate mail on the way to get this armor that he so needs. Like, you saw him getting blown up by this Sven. There was a bit of an arrow in from Mirana, but the rest was just the Sven with his Bloodthorn just wailing at him.
Oh, again, instantly the break.
Here.
Here comes your Ice Blast. Yeah, he's dead.
That's bad.
Over a minute and a half on the sidelines. Yuar did burn the BKB for this.
He bought back and he's
Radiant's
playing
top
up
tower
far
is under
in a
attack.
very dangerous lane with no teammates close by to save him. Not Weehaw's. This is not it just hasn't been Weehaw's game so far. And you have to turn to Miracle to be able to carry this game and play around him as a team, but the problem that you're facing is every time you want to group up, these waves are pushing in, so Weehaw feels forced to, you know what, I gotta push this extra wave, I gotta go that little bit further and take the risk so that we can make our own play, and this time it just gets punished way too hard.
Now he's at least got the Abyssal Blade up and running, gonna go for a Blink Dagger as his next item.
Yeah.
And Newbee still, they're not threatening up in high grounds. Like,
gives him
there's
potential, by
there's
the
been
way.
some chip damage on bottom. Yes, that instant stun you're looking for, right?
Finally catch Ember. With your Alchemist Blink Abyssal, you get the catch you wanted. Yeah.
That doesn't really feel like what you really want, though. CCNC pushes the tier 2 tower in mid, snaking, sitting behind. Pipe, Blink Dagger, and Ravage is more than enough confidence for CCNC to do what he's doing.
And with his Octarine core, all of that health, as well as, you know, the spell lifesteal coming in will keep him alive.
All right, Miracle.
Thought he was going to go the BKB route like we talked about, but he went for the Octarine.
Starting a concoction. He's lost vision. He's going to end up sending himself over the tricks.
They don't know, though.
No.
Newbee don't know. That would have been an arrow. Perhaps. Wait, where is Mirana?
They're really chasing down CCNC. Are they like, well, this guy must not have a remnant down? Even TP Arm from Mind Control went to the tier 3 tower, but he's not going to do that without a remnant.
Support arrives.
And now it's bounty time again. Liquid will... Maybe it's a 1-for-3 trade-off once again.
Yeah.
Alchemist seems like he kind of wants to go, but he has no chemical rage ready. So he's actually weak right now for the... Might try it anyway.
Well, Science already been used. Under God's Wrath. Mind Control's in a very, very bad position. Yuar jumps in. He'll get the roar off, but Mind Control runs away, but not fast enough. CCNC, it's the last physical bit of damage to attack through that BKB of Mind Control. And they're going underneath the tower. They really want to keep this push going with the Ravage clipping over on 3 with a Bloodborne being used. Vipers, and again, Weehaw is a non-factor this game. And CCNC, he's everything. To the front lines, a double kill for Yuar. GH will die in the tree lines. It leaves the last man standing, Miracle, still trying to farm up his Blink Dagger on the bottom lane. But Newbee can just go for Roshan. Just play it safe and get this first win against Team Liquid to start off their TI9 campaign.
What a great start to the day that would be for them. You know, these groups, there's so much to play for in the group. Step number 1, don't get last in the group. Then you're already at the main event, and getting to the main event is worth...
Oh, it's again. The Bloodthorn's already out. Alchemist, he got Abyssal Blades. At least he's able to miss out in the arrow. Concoction beginning again. He's done this over on MSS. Mind Control, he'll arrive. What can he do? There's no war about. He can just give him the medallion, try and get Mirror back into relative safety. With the regeneration, it's still not going to be enough. And the Ice Blast, well, it won't hit Mind Control. That's the one upside from Team Liquid, as Newbee will retreat back out of the base.
But yeah, as I was getting at with the group format and the way things work, obviously we have 18 teams here this year once again, and the bottom team from each group is eliminated before the main event. So you want to not get that last place placement, so you get into the main event, and also already getting just not last in group this year is worth about $500,000 is the prize for 13 through 16. So
yeah, it was last position's 80,000, I believe, at the moment.
So getting to that main event is huge, and obviously every game is going to matter. I'm not saying this as my expectation was Newbee won't make it out of groups. Don't interpret it that way. It's just like step number 1 is get off to a good start in groups, so you've got that playoff, and then obviously if you have a start against Liquid, you get a 1-game win, maybe a 2-0. Your chances of getting to that top 4 in your group and getting to the upper bracket gets massively increased. Liquid clearly one of the stronger teams to come out from the European region this year. It looks like Newbee need to mess up gravely or that Liquid has to find the fight of their dreams with kind of this Miracle Blink Dagger is the key. They have to start a good fight with this, or it's just not happening. But Ember has an Aegis now. How do you initiate this fight? You don't go on the Ember.
Yeah.
If you try to kill Ember twice, the fight's lost.
You actually gonna have to kill Yawar, right? Like, you need to stop that Bloodthorn from having an effect. It's like, and not to mention all the damage that comes along with it, but it's...
Radiant
Do you have the damage though?
scanning.
Kill the Sven. You need to jump him when he doesn't have God Strength on, when
Yeah.
Tide is not nearby to pipe and blink Ravage.
Yeah. Or can you kite
And you need 5 heroes, I think.
Can
That's
you
the way
kite
to
out
do
the
it.
BKB times and then go for your own initiation? Like, is that the other approach to do this? Now
I'm looking at the kiting potential of both. Like the
it's-
kiting potentials on the Dire Toby. There's no kiting on the Radiant.
You've got Glimmer Cape on Kuro. I'm like literally checking items. Like, this is all there really is. Like, you can blink yourself away. Anyone got a 4-staff? Well, you got one on GH.
I mean, it's technically possible, but if there is one dust or a gem in the middle of the fight from the Dire team, from Newbee, you're just...
Not Weehar
You're gonna
again.
die.
Not Weehar again. Moonlight Shadow. CCNC walks up. The Ice Blast is coming in. Weehar is totally dead. But then again, the cheeky backlines. They fucked the Tidehunter. And have they got enough control? He's still got Ravage about. They don't want to use it. But the BKB's up. The Raw snaking. He burn the cheese. He's only slide back again. Then spray to Ravage. And the arrows disconnect. Goodbye, Ogre. Goodbye, Alchemist. In just a second, if they can see him up, and they will be able to. Mind Control's trying to retreat back out, but you know the primary target is Miracle. He blinks. He's actually going to TP himself away. So they burn the Aegis to the Immortal, and the fight, he's in a little deep, but they're still going up further north. They're looking for snaking. This battle is splitting up every 2 different ways. The BKBs have been burned. Weehar's finally going to go down. He'll bring MSS down with him, thanks to Viper Strike, 2 damage, but it's Alchemist. He doesn't have his Chemical Rage available. They have to force up and back underneath Tier 1 tower, even with the bind back from GH. Now he may end going down underneath his own Tier 1 tower too. So many heroes dead for so long, and Yawar, he wants more. He wants Miracle. The Chemical Rage is finally back off cooldown. So Miracle and Mind Control can retreat back to safety. Yawar, he's looking for the fight, and so is Miracle. Here's your first one. The follow-up, Abyssal Blaze available, and they actually do bring him down Yawar. Over 1,000 gold for the kill, and Miracle sure got some teeth.
That was a good fight from Newbee until that move from Yawar. I'm not sure what was going through his mind there. He's completely alone running in, hoping to get a Blink Dagger initiation, but he didn't have Blink Dagger ready. And it's just Alchemist jumping on him with the vision, getting a quick kill, and important for Miracle, that's an 1,100 gold kill that he just just got out of that.
And look at him run. They're instantly trying to make a play to get in and get the bounty runes.
CCNC is ready though.
Yeah, he is.
Right time.
And Snaky will get both the bottom runes.
Yeah, I kind of like how Newbee played that. I don't... Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
That's a dead AA.
Yeah, it is. Mind Control's going to BKB because he just doesn't care.
The initiation...
Pilot has worth 481 gold.
The initiation of going on the Viper when they did, either you really commit for that guy, or they were trying to bait fight, right? They jumped on the Viper with the Aegis of CCNC, they forced Liquid to respond to their BKBs, and then they kited them. Yep, nope, not happening. Then they kited the BKBs like we talked about, the kiting potential of Newbee all better, and then they re-engaged and got a really good fight out of it in the end until the Sven death. They forced a Zeus die back, they killed, I believe, Beastmaster and Ogre died.
Yes.
Alchemist barely got out, and Viper died too. So the fight was good for Newbee until that point, and if Sven doesn't overextend, they should have been very happy with that. Even though they did use Aegis cheese for it.
Yeah.
It's still, you know, you just want to stay ahead against this Alchemist of it.
It's just crazy to think like it still felt like Newbee was in a hell of a lot of control. Like they were sitting at 40,000 experience advantage, and they haven't even brought down the tier 3 tower. In fact, the tickle they did in the tier 3 tower down on bottom lane was about 10-15 minutes ago.
Yep.
And this is going to be getting more and more problematic. Miracle's up to 5.4k in the gold. What does he go next? Does he start arming everyone with Aghanim Scepters? Do you actually start to increase this net worth now with Team Liquid? Or do you still make yourself a Battle Hunger Boy? Like, do you get that Moonshot up and running?
You might go for an axe for the damage problems. Nope, Moonshot first.
Moonshot first.
So, let's see. Obviously, when we're talking about the experience, we should point out that there are 3 heroes in Newbee that have peaked now. They won't get experience anymore, so the XP graph is going to start dipping. Both Ember, Tide, and Sven are level 25. Liquid's highest hero for comparison is Miracle with almost level 23. So not only, like, experience can be a bit weird to look at as a metric in the game because sometimes it matters a lot and sometimes it doesn't matter so much. What really matters is these level thresholds. Having 3 level 25 talents is massive to the 0 of Liquid, and that's where the XP lead really matters right now is, can you put these talents to use? Tide plus 250 damage Anchor Smash hurts real bad with that Solar Crest that he has. The Sven with the God Strength, Talent, and Ember, of course, with those Charge Remnants, or lower respawn, recharge time. And now the Aghanim's coming up with that Talent makes him so much stronger.
They're looking to fight.
Yep.
Team Liquid have been actually running around in circles for the last 20 seconds, looking for a good time to smoke. And looks like Newbee is already ready for it. Keep your eye on Roshan. He may respawn in just over 2 minutes, so there's still got more time. CCNC, all right, the bait is looking to start some around with the block concoction. CCNC, they're gonna bring it down. Buyback is available, and maybe they have enough for it, but he goes nice fast. Everyone's in way too deep. They're all pushing back, but CCNC buyback is there. We have still chance to survive. And they're jumping around, but Newbee, they don't find a target. Alchemist has already run himself away.
Crucial force step from GH. He saved Miracle completely there. Getting caught out like that with the Ice Blast on top.
Oh, mind control. Get away.
And that's big. That's big for Liquid. Sure, you lose your Viper, but man, that was expensive for Newbee. They used the Ember Spirit buyback. And you just gotta wonder how CCNC got jumped like this. I feel like Tide was in range to help with a Blink Pipe or Blink Ravage. I don't know if he got cancelled by a Zeus ulti. Perhaps that's what happened, and Snake wasn't able to help his teammate out there.
Actually thought Yawar was going to be in there faster. He got the Lincoln Sphere, like putting that on the Ember Spirit. If you're going to use CCNC as such obvious bait,
yeah,
it would make more sense.
Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. It must have been. Maybe they were trying to bait this fight and they were like, come on guys, go on the Ember, he has buyback, he has a Remnant out. If you start this fight, we're gonna come in with our Tide Ravage and we'll kill your Alchemist, which looked great for a moment there, but once again that force step, and I think he even got glimmered as well by Kuro perhaps, just got him out of trouble. And now this game got a lot more interesting because
it got so much closer.
The thing we needed from Liquid in this game, one good team fight around Miracle catching this Ember, just happened.
Miracle's on a hunt.
Again.
I like how he's got the Radiance off, so there's no visibility that he's here, so he wants to try and get this quick pick onto MSS. Concoction blink forward. Now that MS has blinked in, he's going to run into the trees. Oh, no, Miracle! Okay, they're both there. Oh, okay. I thought I wanted a battle. No, I need to come and smoke.
Yep. Get ready for the bounties. Big moment in the game, 40 minutes in. This is when we start getting 2 power runes. So both sides of the river will now have active runes, and generally the team that has map control, the team that has mind control sometimes also has an advantage at this point. Liquid kind of doesn't in this game currently, but having map control at this point is really, really useful for those for that extra rune. And so far in this game, it's mainly been Newbee being on the other side of the river. So if they can keep this control of the map and start finding maybe a DD plus illusion or DD haste, or
especially leading up to Roshan in 34 seconds, then it's all.
Invis rune could be a game-winning rune here on the Tide Hunter coming out of nowhere with the Ravage. There's plenty of things. That is one thing that Beastmaster's Hawk cannot deal with. Does not have true sight. So even if you have that blink there, you can kind of counter it with a Beastmaster Hawk if you see him coming. But within Invis rune, you have time to react. So
I would watch around Roshan now. We're hitting that time. If Liquid can move up and get rid of that Observer Ward, then Newbee will be fairly blind.
Oh, rich.
Yeah.
I still can't get over BKB now if he wants.
He's just been sitting on bottom lane, just like f***ing it up. Like as long as he adds the
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
CS? The other position.
Out of my way!
Goal is that's not too shabby. Buys the first Aghanim Scepter coming out in the courier.
Let's see who gets this one.
He's moving towards the GH. Yeah, his GH. Okay. Nimbus is up.
Obviously some good teammates, right? You can give an Axe to Ogre Magi to get that Refined Fire Blast, really strong. The Beastmaster Axe can be useful in the right situations. The Viper one can also be really good.
Oh, how fast they do this. The Ember Spirit's already in. CCNC's gonna jump in. Questline of Fist Steering Chains. Snake King still looking for his right target. Kuro, the Ravages out. Ice Blast on the way in. Roshan, who's gonna claim it? Miracle gets the Aegis Immortal. Yawar, he's moved in. There's still cheese on the deck for the moment. Mind control will grab it as Yawar. The Roar comes down. CCNC, the side of Fist actually dodges the push back from the Roar, but they burnt the Aegis Immortal. Remember, it's on an Alchemist who doesn't have Chemical Rage available. Kuro doesn't respond again. He goes back inside. He can throw out an Ignite, but you've already lost 2 heroes. Gonna make it 3. A CCNT making the most of this Aghanim Scepter. Jumps forward, looks for the kill over on Beastmaster. The backlines can do its own thing as well as Mind Control does go down with Kuro. Viper underneath the Shrine. He'll trigger it up. A triple buyback out from Liquid. My God, do they need something to make this a miracle? He stuns himself. He tried to actually just concoct TP out. Doesn't work. The Nimbus is barely off target.
Oh man, he wanted to concoct TP in, but it's a long TP because we have ported before. So it takes those 5 seconds, and with the 5.5 second charge up, he doesn't have time to throw the concoction. That is the right play though from Liquid to buy back there with 3 heroes, because Weehaw would have died back under his own shrine, and that would have cost you probably 1 or not, if not 2 lanes of barracks to lose the Viper there. So I like the idea that they did this. They just got no kills out of it, and Newbee did get out. Of course, Aegis did go to Miracle, so there's no Aegis on the field for Newbee in this instance. And the cheese, I think,
It's in Mind Control.
It's in Mind Control. Was that the...
Was it Refresher or an Aghanim Scepter? Because it all happened so fast, I didn't actually see the drop. I'm not seeing anybody holding like a Refresher shot.
There's an Ags on Viper, so that, I think, was the drop.
That would make sense.
Alk has not given away 2, right? He's only given away the one to Zeus.
Yes.
So I think this was a drop on the ground. Okay, so Liquid got all 3 items out of the Roche. And sure, you lose that 5. That's also why the net worth looks the way it does, because the game considers this Aghanim Shard, it considers it worth 4,200 gold.
Yeah.
And that's why Weehaw's net worth suddenly took this like huge leap up, even though he died. And
yeah, now he's saying he's got more than MSS, which doesn't really feel like he does.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't, but yeah, Aghanim Blessing is a good item.
But this game is just going so long though, because it feels like no team, even when you win the fight, it doesn't feel like you can then just follow up with a big objective. Like, Roshan also keeps going to the team that doesn't have the momentum.
Yeah.
It keeps going the way of Liquid.
Oh, multi-shot arrow talent for MSS.
No Greenline Shadow cooldown, huh? I thought playing the Vision game against Liquid was going to be a good way to go. I guess not. They're going to try and...
Multi-shot arrow is also Vision talent.
That it is. All 5 buybacks from Team Liquid currently on cooldown, and all for over 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes in total. So Liquid are in full defense now.
And there's 3 buybacks on the other side. Newbee have Sven, Morana, as well as AA. Embers is on cooldown for another 1 minute only. So they have this massive power play now where they just have lives to throw. If they can throw bodies at Liquid, and if they win the fight, it's the game.
Look how fast they go. Newbee get revealed by the Thunder God's Wrath, and they TP everyone down at the bottom lane. It's like, okay, they know we're on the north, let's go towards the south. We've already pushed in 1 wave, and Weehaw kind of is in no man's land behind the tower. Kuro's coming out for an observer mission, but Yoa, they finally found the target they wanted. Team Liquid thought the south was clear. They were definitely wrong. Kuro down for 50 seconds.
That's the best hero Liquid could have died, though. He will be alive in time to defend the base. 50 seconds.
How do you actually push up into like at Spray and Nether Toxin and
Zeus bolts,
like Zeus Bolt, Nimbus, and
it's hard. I think what you try to do here is one of 2 things. Either you choke out the map, you just ward aggressively, you keep Liquid in their base. They probably are out of smokes now after these last couple of fights, and you just keep controlling and farming. The other one is you plan out just go for a surprise jump. You get a ward in the enemy base and you jump and ravage and try to kill the back line. You know they have 0 buybacks. You know this. So if you even a hero like Zeus, blowing up Zeus is really good value right now, to be able to continue pushing. But it looks like the map control play is what Newbee are leaning toward right now.
yes, CNC's got the bottom.
It's fine.
Yoa can jump around. They already got a little bit of extra chip damage, so it's down to half life on the bottom tier 3.
Liquid are very cornered right now. It's find any opening on the you're already playing with these low mobility heroes. You've used up your smoke, and the enemy team just has lives on you. They have buybacks, you don't. It's tricky. You kind of have to play defense.
Doesn't Newbee still need to force it though? Like you're 3 minutes in, you've got buybacks as your advantage. You know that Team Liquid don't have that second life.
You could technically hope for an early Roche, and then you will have Aegis, Cheese, Refresher, or Ags, or whatever, or all, before Liquid are able to get their buybacks back online. How long is it? That's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty unlikely.
It's such a long time, but they're at least ripping through the creep waves. Arrow flies falls a little too now Miracle jumps in, the right target, trying to bring down Sven. They're able to do so down for 100 seconds, and they want an extra chase. The wall overrange now. The arrow is tanked up by the BKB. Now the double buyback from the right. Team Liquid just want to get back into their home, back into their team, but they just can't do it. The Ravage from Snaking clipped them all. 2 minutes down for such a long time. The Miracle let all the stuns go. Without the buybacks, without the life, this is what Newbee wanted. A small opportunity to just try and take the rest of this base. A triple kill for CCNC. He wants the Ultra. He's looking towards Wing Hard, and he'll claim him. The arrow flies forward. MSS will steal it, but that is
Radiant's bottom tower has
GG.
fallen.
Newbee, they will be patient and take game 1 here in this 2-game series against Team Liquid.
It's a nice game to start us off. I like this game. Yeah. A couple of things to talk about, obviously, in this game. The Alchemist pick, as we said, after Zeus and Beastmaster, we found a little bit odd.
Yeah.
The Viper item build, perhaps for Liquid, wasn't the way to go this game. But I love
get
the
those
way
right clicks
Newbee
in, doesn't
approached
quite
the
have
game
the
too.
damage
Because
with the
Mirana
Arc
got super
Warden,
strong, the way they put
he
their
will lose his
lanes,
Tempest
and
double.
the way they took fights with
Still
buybacks, right?
permanent damage.
They have this like bad engage in a way with the Sven dying, and they're like, we have lives, we're gonna come back in, we're gonna take this fight. Similar situation earlier with another buyback fight that they won, and they played a great game.
Yeah, man, I just like seeing this from Newbee, seeing CCNC, seeing Newbee understand what he wants to be, and seeing Newbee understand like feel like that's greedy against Alchemist, because doesn't that normally feel like that's greedy against Alchemist, because doesn't that normally
let's play fast, let's be aggressive, and Newbee were like, no, we can actually play nice and slow, nice and tempered, and wait for our right opportunities. So, good start for Newbee. Game 2 coming up in just a bit. In looking again, the lift is there. Save the Ember's life. These doubles, so obnoxious to play into. You get gold for him at least, but I don't know, it doesn't feel good to get 300 gold at this stage of the game.
Generation.
Because you're just constantly on the back foot. It doesn't matter. It's not about the gold here, it's just about where you're forced to play in the map. And as a result, TNC, this is a free Roshan.
Cheese and the Aegis.
Roshan
Arc
has
Warden
fallen to the
is
tower.
running out of slots. I mean, he can still buy Moon Shard, Aghanim Scepter.
Granted,
Spawns
no
a rune.
ability, Rune Forge, oh
Yeah.
yeah. Potentially pretty good. No, it's not,
If you get double damage or if you get
Arcane
Rune, it's so good. On certain heroes, the loot can be extremely good as well.
shabby, but you're not going to buy an Axe.
He's gonna buy it eventually if this game frags.
And they're just going in. They're looking to hit some buildings here. They're zoning with the arrows as well as the Ghost Ship. It's literally just zone King gaming away by throwing these spells, hitting arrows. They're going to hit these arrows. Mirana falls up. They're not really looking to commit on this one. I think they know it's much more important to take the objectives, and they are taking the racks here, but need to be careful. So it's got the Aegis, the Force Staff's keeping them alive. The Bash is going to hit on the Bristleback, but they don't really want to leave their base here. And it's a tier 3 tower plus range racks. And it looks like Arc 1 is sending himself or his double down bottom here. He's sending his double in to go for the backdoor play down bottom. So while all this distraction happens
Radiant's
up top,
bottom barracks
it does
are
look
under
like
attack.
bottom melee racks. Can they kill it off? He's got BKB now. I love this pickup just to make sure they can take some of these objectives. It's going to be close. I think they've got the damage for it.
Melee
Melee racks.
enough. On the top lane. I got another one going down.
Yep. Death by 1,000 cuts. TNC don't care about taking the kills. They'll take them if they came to them, but King Gaming is so annoying with their high ground defense, and TNC are just finding ways to bit by bit break their base.
Another arrow on Ember Spirit.
They're so disciplined. Like, they hit these arrows, but they're never following it up and committing for kills.
Balance.
They can just play this slowly. They don't have to risk anything at this point. You can always go in. There's no burst damage inside of King Gaming. There's not enough stuns to keep in play, so they can go in. BKBs are down to 6 and 5 seconds. Bristleback and Kanka can just go in, hit the tower. Arc Warden as well. Repeat every single tower up.
So has an Octarine core. Ag 70 feet up as well, so there will be more damage coming out, but it still feels like there's going to be constant problems. Not having quite enough damage and also just not being able to deal with every single lane being pushed in. And I guess the good news is once you're down to your tier 4s, they can't split push you anymore. You just have to your tier 4s. There's a relic destroyed. Is that a rapier? Oh no, it's a nullifier. Go ahead, queue it up.
Well, at least you know from which side they're gonna enter. It's gonna be mid, so you can prepare for defending the mid lane.
Well, you say that. Watch some like Spark Wraiths, Tempest Doubles go in bottom or top for the tier 4 towers.
They have a sentry.
Coming, but at this point, Arc Warden just seems keen on using this BKB to take objectives. Plan or not. Arrows and Torrents, they are just looking to force these towers here. Arrows continue to go flying out here, and it's going to be Mirana leaping on forward. Didn't quite have the damage to kill off the Rubik, who did get kept alive the Grimstroke at the Glimmercave. And the arrows just continue to go flying, and it's going to be tier 3 tower playing here. It's still getting so incredibly low. The Ember force to buy back. The Arrows is going to land on 2, but the damage just isn't really there. They're kiting with these 4-stars. There's just nothing King Gaming can do. They just can't keep these heroes in place. They're falling one by one, forcing out these buybacks. 3 buybacks used already. TNC may just say, let's just you know, re-engage, reset a little bit, but they're being chased after here. I think King Gaming feel now it's now or never here. The arrows going flying up, forcing them to kind of disperse. It's so hard to chase when these arrows are just flying at you. Warden will throw in one last Tempest Double. This one maybe just going to feed away some gold. The arrows again going flying. Doesn't latch on anyone. The leash though is there. Soul Binding 2 together. Mirana's got leaping in with the double Sassel. Doesn't quite kill the Rubik here. Life Stealer still thinks we'll get the rage away. And with Rubik dead for 100
No buyback on Rubik.
Not looking good. Tempest Double pull back in. He's got no buyback as well. And this is looking like the Ember King Gaming a clean from the Kunkka. Slices through the Life Stealer's life, and it's GG. 53 minutes. King Gaming, they fought hard and long. They were so resilient, but it's TNC.
I love the patience from TNC. Arc Warden did not have a good time early on, but the other 4 played so well, created the space for Arc Warden to come back into the game, and the itemization was perfect on their side. Even though I'm not a big fan of Grimstroke and when you don't have any single target abilities, they itemized perfectly. They had Spirit Vessel on Kunkka, picked up as a first item to
toe with the LS, and between him and Jug, and what's the other one? Is it Am or Slark? What's the other one that's like
Slark's
your
really
traditional
hard to
counter?
Slark's really good against Spectre nowadays, but
Oh yeah, because you're a Silver Edge buyer too.
when Spectre was broken, Slark was bad against Spectre because you used to go like the Shadow Blade every game, and the Spectre Dagger makes it so you don't get your ult during invis. But
Oh, yeah, dude,
but
that
now
was
that you're going
crazy.
like Drums Diffusal on Slark, it's a really good
No,
matchup.
I don't know. That one goes both ways. Lifestealer, Jug are hard counters to Spectre.
Oh, I know. I'm saying
Yeah.
like Slark in general can go back and forth in metas. I
Yeah.
think in this current meta, Slark is good against Spectre, but Lifestealer specifically,
you eat
how do you
everything.
kill this guy? How do you actually kill him from the Chaos Esports side? And whenever I look at an 8th pick for any lineup, I'd like to see, like, when the opponent has absolute last pick, I want to see a hero that is forced to be addressed. Like, you have to address this and pick the perfect hero for the game, because usually that's really difficult to do. And that makes it so, like, kind of neuters the power of that last pick.
What do you think of this last pick for PSG LGD? Because in my head, this will be X Nova on the ET and FY Mirana, and you last pick Maybe's hero. But it could just be Mirana mid. I just don't know if that's ideal.
That's what Chaos thought too, right? They banned the Storm,
okay.
but no.
They have no egg hitters either. So suddenly you have 2 heroes they need to address. I think Jug's their only option. Like,
Yeah, I'd agree.
Jug mid. Like, I know that
No,
sounds
well,
crazy.
wait. What the hell? Look at
I'm
the
saying,
Jug?
I'm saying Jug mid is like their only option here. That's the only thing that deals with Lifestealer and Phoenix.
What about Quap?
Does Quap deal with Phoenix?
Orchid?
I guess. Like,
Just admit defeat.
like, okay, I don't want to admit defeat. It's just like, I say Jug, like, you know, you don't even want 2 carries, but like, you need like this mid gamer that can hit the egg, that can do building damage. Like, they don't have any building pressure.
Can escape
Could
from
you?
stuns.
God,
or
you can't Lena. Jeez, I don't actually know what you pick here.
They're going Lycan.
Oh, okay. It's not an egg hitter, but it actually does what I wanted. Like this right-clicking mid laner that kills buildings and the Lifestealer. It doesn't deal with the egg, though.
This is such a weird
The bunny
draft.
mount. Sorry, I love the bunny mount. If you don't know how I always say, you shouldn't be allowed to play Mirana unless you have the bunny mount.
So basically, unless you're one
You're
of the
the
people that forked over,
0.001%.
what is it, $1,200?
It was like
$1,000 right now.
$1,800. Oh, it's cheap now.
Yeah, it's
Dude, that's
1,000.
really cheap.
It's $1,000.
Yeah, it's $1,000. I thought my $100
It looks
mount
like
was nice.
the rabbit. Was it Frank from Donnie Darko?
Never seen it.
I haven't
Really?
seen that
Is
either.
that a show? Or?
No, it's a movie,
Nah, no, I'm
dude.
just kidding.
There's
I've heard
another
of it. I haven't
killing
seen
all
it
movie.
though. Yeah. Dude, I love it though. But here we go. This is gonna. So it looks like it is gonna be the Kezu Dazzle. Then obviously Matama Man is gonna be playing that Lycan. And we're looking at these drafts. You guys talked about it. This Phoenix and Lifestealer, they're both gonna feel pretty good. I mean, the Lifestealer obviously Lycan likes chasing him down, right? But
What is that
besides
Dazzle
that-
Mace?
Can we talk about the game,
Sorry.
not cosmetics team?
These are some nice cosmetics, man. The Dazzle Mace, I don't even never seen that before. The tiny prestige item we were talking about, he's got it.
He just said sorry. Oh, you're right, and then kept going.
Yeah, I mean, I said sorry, but
In
it's my
advance.
guilty pleasure, like, implied, and I'm going to keep talking
You
about
can
it.
tell you're a streamer primarily
Why?
because you just completely ignore feedback and do whatever you want.
This is true.
this
I'm
is
recording
true.
on Twitch.
This is true. He's correct. I do the same.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at
I
this.
saw BSJ throw a. Never mind. Not getting into it.
All I can say as a streamer is one of the tips you really, or one of the skill sets you master over time is hearing feedback and filtering out most of it. And just like
gotcha.
doing your own thing.
Yeah,
'Cause
Kyle-
everyone tries to micromanage your
Yeah,
what you're
Kyle, you're
doing.
sounding like a 1K Redditor right now.
Yeah.
BSJ knows to avoid that.
Yes, I do. I hear it, and it's in one ear, out the
What if
other.
it was me and Kyle in your chat telling you something? Would you listen to us?
Maybe you.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go.
Use Midas better, please. Use
I remember
That's it.
I was recruiting Brian for my team before TI5.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, so do you want to play with us? And it's because he had just won FPL. Sumel won the month
NEL,
before, got
yeah,
picked
yeah,
up by
yeah.
EG. I was like, all right, well, that seemed to work out. Let me pick up BSJ. And he says, you know, I'm sorry. I appreciate the opportunity, but I got an offer from IX Mike, and I'm going to go take it.
I mean,
It's fair.
it's IX Mike.
And then a month and a half later, Jimmy kicked him.
Damn.
That was a good time.
It was
That was
really
the pinnacle of my career.
I forgot you won that NEL. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Troll Warlord, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Great
Shout out to
hero.
Troll
Sniper
Warlord.
Troll patch.
So what do we got? We've got a Phoenix Sand King heading on down bottom. That means we do have this Mirana going up top. So it is going to be... It's Ame going middle is Lifestealer, and maybe going top is the Mirana. Different.
different.
And why is
different
that
good?
for? Why do you want to send? You just because you know the Lycan's going middle and Lifestealer just beats him in lane, or? 'Cause they have to know
Lifestealer
that's
should
happening.
just absolutely free farm this lane, I think,
Okay.
is the idea behind it. And I don't know, anytime you can put a carry hero in an absolute free farm lane and it doesn't like cripple anyone else, I think it's fine. Mirana, like Kyle said, can be played in any role. It doesn't really
Lane either,
Yeah, I mean, she's been given enough like early game buffs, especially the leap buff where the charge replenish went from 60 to 45 level 1.
I'm just scared. If you don't kill the egg, like, I honestly don't care about anything in a team fight other than do you kill the egg?
If you don't kill egg, you lose.
Yeah, Chaos just lose. All the creeps die. They don't do any damage when Lycan pops everything.
And you know he's going to be farmed. It's FY.
Yeah.
FY will have a Shiva's at 9 minutes, and you're like, what the hell? Is that even possible?
And
I will
it's
say
so
they
good
have
against Spectre, too.
the Sand King though, which is like an offlaner that traditionally lanes a lot. So like last game he had an ogre, so the Jakiro got a lot of gold. I'm just curious like where he's gonna find the farm.
Oh, this is cool. They're gonna backlane first wave, aren't they? Check that out. Yeah, they're gonna sandstorm. No, never mind.
Just going to block
They're just
it
blocking it so it's in tower range.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna try and get lane control and then just tri-lane down here.
and just run at him. And it looks to be, there's already Fire Spirits going out. Misery already taking a ton of damage, and yep, there you go. Creeps will
Team
be under the tower,
Liquid's
pull
turn
it back.
to
And,
ban.
well, there's going to be a TP, so they aren't going to try lane. Looks like X-Nova will go top.
Look, FY 4-4-4 on. Dude, it took us like 15 minutes to hit that many shots.
Newbee's turn to ban.
FY.
Team Liquid's turn to ban.
What?
Newbee's turn to ban. Team Liquid's turn to ban. Newbee's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Lo logro.
Team Liquid's turn to pick. Newbee's turn to pick.
Elder Titan.
Newbee's turn to pick. Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Gyrocopter!
They just didn't build around it that well. We'll see how they do that.
Team Liquid's turn to ban.
Axe.
Newbee's turn to ban.
Just cuts through the elder. Oh wait, just get out of my way.
Let's hope this is not how Liquid's team atmosphere is right now.
The dyssynergy in the picks. Well, Io and Gyro, perfect synergy.
Elder Titan immediately
10
turns his back
seconds
on his
remaining.
teammate, who is kind of holding
Team
an X in his face, so
Liquid's
it's
turn.
understandable.
Why is ET like at a night? Like he's like, okay, guys, we're doing profile shots today.
Yeah, I don't know why he's
like,
angled like this. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, he should be like facing direct. It's like,
Yeah.
you check out my ass.
I think this should be at
Team
the top of the
Liquid's
list.
turn to
In
ban.
the next patch.
Yeah, it's that cleanup, right?
Yep. It is true though. He's kind of the only hero that's facing this much to the side, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll
Like,
see some more heroes later.
Axe has a side turn, but that's because he's like on the bodybuilder turn, so you can see the ripped abs, the muscles on the sides, and that
Dang.
still sees the gorgeous face.
The gorgeous face. Yes, very gorgeous.
10 seconds remaining.
I guess we have different standards. That's fine though. No, nothing wrong with that.
5 seconds remaining.
Let's look at some bans though. They banned the Storm Spirit, which is a really good hero against Io. Always has that reach to get in on the back line.
Do you find it
And
interesting
Liquid
that
are banning out Bane and Bat Rider.
I actually feel like it's true that Newbee bans the Alchemist in the first phase.
Yeah, this time it's different because Liquid are first pick. So they could have closed the phase with Alch and then banned out counters like the AA that they struggled with in the last game. So I
Newbee's turn to
to ban
pick.
the Alch, even though they just beat it. I
Team
think that was a good
Liquid's
call.
turn to pick.
Shadow Demon.
After banning out Weaver, another good carry hero against Io. The Swarm does constant damage, so it's hard to heal.
Not
it's
a lot of
super
great
mobile.
stunts though. Like all you've got is homing missile. You have like a Weaver
That-
pop up in this game, and it's gonna be difficult for Newbee to control.
Absolutely, so that's another
That's why they
good
banned it.
reason for banning it.
Yep.
But I mean, there's other heroes like that, right? There's more mobility heroes in Dota
10
than just these
seconds
two.
remaining.
Something I could see potentially being in the cards for Liquid. is
5
something
seconds
like
remaining.
maybe a Slark.
Newbee's turn to pick.
Crystal
Crystal
Maiden.
Maiden for now. So, good way of giving the mana to Elder Titan. Very nice for this hero to get this influx of mana. It's one of the hero's biggest problems in laning stage is if you, especially if you have to skill both of your active spells, you run out of mana relatively quickly, and throughout the game, it's just having Maiden Aura on this hero is a blessing. It's really, really useful. Pretty good for X2. Somewhat has mana
10
pop
Team
sometimes, so
Liquid's turn to pick.
Legion Commander.
interesting. So when you're playing IO, you generally want at least one hero that sets up relocate ganks. And now they have both Disruption and Duel to enable them to play the map like this. Legion Commander is also an exceptionally strong laner this patch. She has super good move speed. I think she has 333 base move speed.
Team Liquid's turn
Very
to
quick.
pick.
She is a solid offlaner against weak supports, which Crystal Maiden as a 5 is not really the strongest lane support. She has one slow and one root, and you can choose which one you want to purge on Legion. Frostbite is very bad against Legion Commander. So yeah, I kind of like it, and it puts Liquid under this kind of pressure
10
that they need
seconds
a carry head as well in
Newbee's
this lane.
turn to ban.
Anti-mage.
Never mind, they don't apparently.
It's like we just need something that can carry us going into the late game again. Whereas like, okay, we're going to play for that 40-minute, 45-minute power spike and hope you can survive the early part.
Oh, you don't want to go that late with him. You generally want to win at 30-35. You get a Battle Fury. If you have a great game, you get Battle
10
Fury at 15.
seconds
You get a
remaining.
Mantum in at 21, 22. You get your next item and maybe one more.
5
then you
seconds
But
remaining.
it still feels like that, you said like maneuverable hero that can play in the safe lane, like Spell Shield's still going to cause a lot of problems for Newbee,
But
for the jump in, like how do you control the AM if he moves across the map, if he gets Manta style?
Spell Shield is not good against Duel. You just reflect it.
Yeah, because it actually doubles it, right?
No, you block and then reflect, right? The way Spell Shield works, it works like Linken's plus Lotus, right? But it works as both. So if you duel an anti-mage with Spell Shield on, he's dueling you,
Team
but only one.
Liquid's turn to
right?
ban.
If you're Lotus, it's a double duel. It counts twice. But against damage, you count one. But he can't counter duel. Unless I'm being really stupid here, right? I don't think so. Like you would.
Yeah, he would still force himself into the duel. That would make sense.
Yeah. He should get dueled. And he is also playing against Disruption, which this is one of the cooler ones for AM now. In the past, Disruption was really
10
annoying. You would
seconds
get disrupted,
remaining.
and then you mana burn yourself with the illusions. But now you can actually spell shield the Disruption if you see it coming.
5
so
seconds
that's nice,
remaining.
at least. I feel like this is a pretty high-risk AM pick, though. You're picking it into the Legion Commander we already talked about. Good laner against you. In my opinion, at least a good laner in general.
Team
Duel is good.
Liquid's turn to pick.
The
Newbee's
Shadow
turn
Demon
to
throws,
pick.
magic throws both ways. And I at least like this Pango Leader, because now Liquid has like strong team fight, right? They have team fight to play against this Io Gyro. Pango is very good against Io, in my opinion.
This makes for a very interesting laning phase, though, because you're running 4 melee. Obviously, Pango's got some range things to work with, but 4 melee that has to come underneath the gyrocopter in range of the IO.
10 seconds remaining.
And then we still got the last pick in this draft.
This is a mid
5
Pango,
seconds remaining.
right?
Mid Pango, offlane Axe would be the most like assumption. Like GH is definitely gonna be playing the ET. Kura is gonna be on the CM. So it's Miracles AM, Weeha's Pango. So what can Newbee then run in the mid lane that they feel better against the Pango?
Oh, wait, what if they put Elder Titan with me? Either tri-laning flat out, or they put Elder Titan with AM and Maiden with Axe, because Titan might have more of a play in the safe lane than the Maiden does. They could do that, and still have the Elder Titan be GH position 4, but just swap the lanes around, perhaps. Or maybe they try to dodge, similar to last game where they had this interesting start with tri-lane top to kill, and then swap around, maybe do something like this. Yeah, I don't know yet. But I feel like if you're Newbee now and you have the right idea, you can exploit this. Like, there's some serious information on the table. Like you said, 4 melee heroes, you know it's a Pango mid. If they swap lanes around to try to solve this, the only heroes they can put mid are Axe or Anti-Mage, and they're also melee.
Yep.
And they have similar weak matchups to the Pango, at least some of them. So I think you're looking for a hero that doesn't enable Liquid to put AM mid, and then you're happy if you can do this. Taking their time, I guess they're gauging a couple of options.
Choose your
do
hero.
an OD up against the Pango.
Should be good. That's a cool looking Pango.
That is it's a very stylish headpiece.
Very fancy. Fancy hero.
It's like it's the old Robin Hood saying, like, how blanche is the feather in my cap?
Yep.
The feathers. Meanwhile, the OD is default.
Yeah.
CC and C is.
Is it? Is that the normal weapon?
Yeah. Is it? Actually, no. That's
default.
that's not the normal weapon.
I don't think that's default.
But he doesn't have the wings.
Yeah, he doesn't have the. Yeah. All right. Well.
Meanwhile, back at Not Cosmetics.
Once again, I think Newbee have a solid lineup. I think their laning stage looks very good on paper. There's a clear direction in the strategy of how they want to play mid game. You have these catches. You have OD to catch for relocate. You have LC to catch for relocate. You have Shadow Demon to catch for relocate. And then you're playing around this like strong mid game timing with BKBs, where both Gyro and OD in this game are largely invincible during BKB. There's so little damage on the way of Liquid. Pango has 1 swashbuckle. AM is not that good against BKB until very late in the game when he has like 5 items.
Yeah.
And Elder Titan and Maiden are pretty much worthless. You have a little bit of damage from Earth Splitter if it connects, but that's it. So
it still feels that like Newbee is just lacking the putting it into way. ET sleep. You've got Pango can swashbuckle out. You've got CM who will sacrifice herself just to get all the stuns down. Like, it still feels like Newbee doesn't have, like, Newbee has the same type of problem that Liquid had.
Prepare for
like,
battle.
How do we initiate these fights where we actually hold them in position and we actually get the fight?
Well, they have duel.
They definitely have duel, but it feels like there's a lot of pressure on Snaking to make that work.
There is. For sure. I think Snaking needs to have a good game for the Newbee lineup to work. But once again, similar to the last game, Liquid have no save in their strategy. There's nothing that saves. On the other side, Newbee have arguably 3 saves. They have Relocate, Astral, and Disruption. So if played correctly, we're focusing a lot on how Newbee can take fights, but how about Liquid, right?
Yeah.
You get an Axe call. It's very limited how you can Axe call in this game because there's so many counters to this call, and that's another added benefit of this OD last pick. This hero is really good against Axe. Saving allies, having pure damage, having huge magic
30
damage.
seconds to
Axe
battle.
was not in the front of the row when they handed out brains. His int is not very good. So, you know, like OD kind of is very good this game. And we saw game 1, Newbee are definitely playing good Dota. So this could be another really great game.
I'll hope for it. At the moment, Team Liquid trying to contest for the bounty rules. Spirit's already out as DH will take all the bonus damage, but boys are starting to stack up, so King's Rock Barrage, GH trying to beat into MSS, looking for this kill. The bounty rules have now been put out, but GH just stacks the boys, he doesn't care, and the first blood turns around for a little bit more than burn off so much mana of Yawar. He's forced out of the lane, and Planet Eye has been spamming nothing but Shadow Poison, so he's also bone dry.
Yeah.
But it goes 1-1 as far as the bounty runes go.
There's going to be 3 for Liquid. They
Yeah.
got the aggressive one, and that's usually when you have a trade like this at the start, when one team gets first blood and there's an immediate counter kill, it's kind of a net 0, just because, you know, the guy who got the kill is worth a lot suddenly, because he's the highest net worth in the game, right? And that's what we saw right there. The reward for Yawar compared to GH's first blood kill and MSS is almost identical. So, very minor win for Liquid, but like you pointed out, the big win there is the mana. Like, draining all of this mana, forcing Newbee to buy these mangoes. MSS brought a couple from Highlight Die. But yeah, it's interesting. And this time around, I don't think the Newbee matchup for Snaking is as good as last time. I think Axe does very well against Legion Commander compared to the Beastmaster against Tide that we saw last time.
Yeah, you see Mind Control even. Okay, now he'll get the Battle Hunger up. But being in range with the spin, you can always be confident a lot of damage. Down to go again for Yawar. Has the extra health. He's still got the Fairy Fire as well as 2 salves available. He doesn't care if he's up full.
Where are you watching? That's how it's done.
And trying to keep tabs on mid lane as well as the top lane as well. The OD spending a lot of time very close towards that tier 1 tower, trying to stay in Weeha's space.
Really good CSing from Yawar in the tower, by the way. In the safe lane, great job in there.
Yes!
And yeah, mid lane, as you said, good for CCNC. This should be an OD favorite matchup, so expected outcome. Last game, I think he maybe did slightly better on Ember against Viper than expected. I'm not completely sure how that goes, but he did a great job. So far so good for CCNC in this series. I wonder how this top lane is going to go in the long run. I feel like Legion will lose pretty hard, but have to wait and see. Mind Control can, at the very least, he can always just cut the wave, right? Like, what's Legion going to do about it? They can both just cut waves. Legion hits it with the press, with the moment of courage, and Axis kills it with Helix.
This bottom lane though, so crazy because you've got Gyrocopter getting stunned up, bashed up. GH is burning through so much life on this bottom lane. And it's not because he's got himself a stack. In fact, they've put down one sentry ward to block the easy stack that GH will use, but there's 3 heroes that GH keeps clipping every single time with the Spirit.
Yeah, nice Spirit to stop the salve on MSS. He was trying to outrange it so he could keep healing Yawar, but it got cancelled. And he also has to play around the Crystal Nova, which also has pretty good reach. So, not that easy.
Because they're underneath the tier 1 tower, GH is not getting too over-aggressive.
No way!
But that's exactly what you're talking about with the creep skipping. They're pulling him to the side lanes now, to the camps. You just grab it, alright, pull up another one. Keep the aggro, go to Mud Golems, and let the CS just reign free.
Yep. There's a pretty sizable net worth advantage for Liquid right now, especially going the way of the Elder Titan. He's 500 net worth ahead of the other supports, and this is going to transition into, first of all, the boots advantage that he's currently sitting on. But once he gets the phase, this hero is a beast in lane.
He can just run down everybody.
They're securing Miracle really nicely down here. I like this laning from Liquid in the game. It's clever.
I don't know if there's really that much that can be done about it. GH going to go for this game, trying to separate MSS as well as Yawar.
He did do that, but that's all he did.
Yeah.
Double damage.
Alright, he's always got his plus 40 damage to miss that last hit in the range creep with. Net worth's looking really good for Mind Control. 2.2k and a bit. Above everybody else on this map. Oh, just keep getting underneath that tower.
Yeah, he's winning this thing hard. And Axe will, when given a free side lane, I think Axe is the highest farming hero in Dota. I don't think you can put a side lane hero that can farm more efficiently than him in this early stage of the game. Counter Helix is just super efficient. He can kill the waves with no risk. And Snaking is doing the same, right? His hero is just worse at it. It's just how it is.
He's doing his best.
He's doing good. Like I don't think you can ask for much more in this lane for Legion Commander. It's not a winning battle. Oh, Astral from CCNC will secure the rune for Snaking. I think. Oh, nice call.
The jungle has
Mike
separated.
barely getting on the edge there.
It's down the bottom lane though. That's where the real pressure is. SD Disruption's already out. Miracle wants to finish off Highlight Eye. The real one goes left while Weeha working with GH to bring down MSS. They're trying to get rid of the medic before they can get rid of Yawar. And even with the hit back to the swashbuckle, Yawar, the dive underneath the tower continues to stop. Snaking arrives, gets the door. There's over on the anime. Third way to jump out. No one use those 17 one charges the Miracle had ready to go. So Snaking wants a little bit more of his own. Over towards Kuro, TP out, able to be successful.
Half a second of disruption there.
Pango's in trouble.
Dyer's middle
Gets his
tower
TP,
is under
Yawar.
attack.
Okay, there's not enough damage. Weeha will complete his TP.
Dyer's structures
Goes
are
back to Shrine
fortified.
so he can rematch up in the mid tower.
Feels pretty even because there's a rotation from both the
Radiant's
Pango
top
and the
tower
Axe.
is under
OD
attack.
gets a full or two free
Amazing what
waves
you
mid
found laying
over
around.
Weeha, so Weeha's now definitely far behind in mid after that bottom rotation.
A look at Mind Control. He waits for the 6-minute bounty rune to
Dyer's
come up,
middle
so then he can
tower
have
is
a
under
battle against
attack.
CCNC. The Axe is meant to work well, but with the swashbuckle forward, CCNC still slowed
Very
up.
nice, very timing, perfect.
Too good. Mind Control cannot get that Culling Blade to get the kill.
That was actually perfect. Weeha used the
Radiant's
shield
top
crash
tower
to get him
is
under
under
the
attack.
threshold, and the moment the Axe animation was mid-air, they got the Fairy Fire off to pop just over 300. Didn't get called. I think he was he was definitely in culling range. The kill threshold 250, I think he was on like 240 or 235. He ferries up, stays alive, goes to Shrine, he's back in fucking shape. Very nice.
Spirit's going to work once again. Quick little sleep, and
Let's
here
go.
comes, banish from Pylite Eye in the trees, making sure the mind control cannot get the call into MSS. Follow-up kill they wanted, but GH has plus 80 damage. Ready to pump it in, but they're trapped inside the tree line. Not coming out. CC&C will TP in as mind control begins his run away. 4 points, 4 stacks of the shadow poison on him. They're going to pop in a second.
Phase. I think he's okay. He's okay.
He's got the distance.
You're happy with that if you're Liquid. You force the rotation of OD and you're paying about space.
Duel up on top. Anti-mage, level 4 up against that level 7. Legion Commander, Miracle can just survive long enough.
Look at Snaking's skill build. I don't think I've seen this before. Not in a very long time, at least. This gives me some jungle LC memory. Coming back here. But usually you're with max moment of courage in that case. But yeah, a lot of attack speed, low cooldown, press the attack. And yeah, the overwhelming ults are kind of useless if you're just farming, right?
Yeah.
Both of you are just farming, you might as well. So, close to the kill on AM, set. Didn't quite get it.
It's a good observe for this down at the moment from Newbee. It scouts at the rotation coming to bottom lane, so Yua's a little bit more protected. So this movement from mind control really is going begging.
Yeah, if MC hadn't moved, he would have 75 CS right now, or 80, I think. So his movements have been costly. They may have been necessary, but they definitely cost him. He could be level 8.5, almost 9, I think, from just farming, maybe even more.
Well, they finally put him back up on the top. Once again, Weeha. This is the second time he's rotated towards the bottom lane. It's the second time he's run over top of the Observer Ward.
Deep dive.
Already ready. Weeha, shield crashing through, just wants to get the kill over on MSS. A quick jump away from Pylite Eye. Once again, with the disruption, buys some time. Miracle, he's actually joined this fight too, puts on the spell block. But who are you really going on with CC&C, who's also arrived? You can put down the sleep, but Kuro is trapped way too deep to help the rest of his team.
Radiant's
The Io did at least die inside
attack.
the tree line.
Yeah,
But
killed by Swashbuckle.
So many resources being committed from both sides to this bottom lane.
I think Io would have survived if it wasn't for the Arcane Rune we have for this move. Low cooldown on
Snaking wants some help.
Swashbuckle.
He wants to go for the duel. Mind Control knows it too. CC&C's rotated over. TP is on cooldown for Mind Control, but he uses phase boots and movement speed to outrun with the duel. Snaking just gets in range. The axe will tick on down, but it's still not enough damage. But there's no other supporters down on bottom lane where the battle is actually going on. So Mind Control gets one quick roar off, but that won't be enough. Pylite Eye, falling on the bottom lane. Yuan, Frostbite, Nut, Miracle, sticking on the back of this fight. That's the quickest way to get some, well, I say some money, but GH6, the double kill on bottom lane. I suppose that happens when you've got so much plus damage.
Radiant structures are
2 for 1.
fortified.
The axe kill is big, but so is the... Well, Gyro and SD are not as big as the axe, right? But it's still,
Dire's
it's 2
middle
kills
tower
and
is
slowing
under
down
attack.
Gyro to now be a full
Radiant's
level behind
bottom
the
tower
anti-mage.
is under
Going up to
attack.
Pylite
His
Eye.
tempo is definitely stifled here. Bounty soon.
Dire's top
Not
tower
where Kuro
is
wants
under
to be,
attack.
but they want to fight for the bounty runes.
Yeah, they're gonna leave him, get the bigger objective.
Mind Control might be able to take this top. Snaking knows it too. A quick
Bounty
roar and he won't
versus
be able to pick up
bounty.
anything.
He'll get them both. He's gonna call in here and take it.
OD is
Oh,
TPing
he's
in
not.
though.
Okay. Yep.
And he'll run away.
Dual, same player.
Dire's
Yep.
top tower
This is
is
a
under
rinse and
attack.
repeat movement.
Deja vu here.
And we'll start with the orbs, another imprisonment. It actually kind of feels like they're taking so long to do this. Now Mind Control, another quick roll over on 2. Run up the hill, 7-1 charges are available, and with the movement speed underneath the shrine, he'll end up surviving while Miracle kills MSS down on bottom lane. Snaking and CC&C, no matter how hard they try, they can't find the kill, but now Pylite die. Weeha will swashbuckle himself forward. They want to go for the Rolling Thunder, but they would like to get a kill, not onto GH for once. That's his 4th kill of the game, out of the 8 that Team Liquid have claimed.
Liquid got to be really happy with X surviving this. He's gonna ping it again, that OD's there. They're still not rotating to help. He
Radiant's
feels
bottom
safe,
tower
and he is.
under attack.
So much space for Mind Control here. Mid lane. Yeah, that's...
Trying to work with him. Gyrocop for so much damage. Now the cooldown comes in. MSS touching the fight with Pylite Eye is TP'd in. The duel is out. And GH, that's a big kill spree to end. MSS will claim it. It just seems the day that supports get all the kills.
You're not mad at that. You want the IO to get the bottle. It's a good hero to get this kill on. But yeah, Liquid looking much better in this game than game number 1 currently. Relocate top, there's the play we've talked about. They can banish into relo. And this time he's dead. Another kill for IO. That's the model. I don't know if you wanted that.
Dire's top tower is
Well, now he
under
has the model
attack.
for sure.
You'll take it.
Something for everybody.
Surprised actually that Kuro didn't deep ward out Pylai Dies Observer and Sentry. He should have known it was planted down. In fact, yeah, that's exactly what's happening now. Kuro is re-establishing that vision control. Meanwhile, up at top bounty room, we can't know.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's like Legion Commander's a little too
Dire's
scary for him to do
structures
anything
are
against.
fortified.
Now X back to top. So, let's see. Blink Dagger coming up soon for Snaking. The OD is close to Veil. Nothing else to speak of on that side. On Liquid side, Axis Dagger has been delayed seriously by this what's been happening lately. Miracle is probably the biggest winner out of everything that's happened relatively. He has good farm. He has only 1 death. The laning stage went very well for him. He's closing in on the probably what's going to be a 16-minute Battle Fury, I would assume. Maybe 17 if he gets killed once especially. And Weehaw is going for Diffusal first item on the Pango. That's pretty good this game. I think it's fine. He might just go the Diffusal Axe route.
He's going to get the hell out of here. Into the Rolling Thunder. He just needs to roll away. Went up the hill instead. Legion Commander's coming around, and well, that's the easiest way to TP out.
Radiant's
wasting
middle
as much
tower
time as
is under attack.
Well, it's working well. Mind Control's getting the space up on top lane. Miracle continues to farm up. Can't kill Miracle if you're too busy chasing the Pango. And GH is spending a lot more time up on this top lane now. Obviously ensuring that Mind Control can get to that Blink Dagger. But the Blink Dagger for him has arrived a little late because the one's already there upon Snaking. He blinks in, takes out Kuro. And with the relocate from Yawar and MSS, it just helps get the kill.
That TP from Eldertide was... I mean, he TP'd as fast as he could. The Maiden just insta-died. You can't save Kuro here.
It's a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. She might not even be worth TPing for. Like, it's... In this case, obviously wasn't. Died before Eldertide even got here, but at the same time, he's defending the mid lane, which is very important. He can always push this out with the Spirit plus Stomp, and he'll get some decent experience here too. So not all that bad.
Radiant are
No,
scanning.
MSS says no. He would have loved that. Would have worked towards yet
Radiant's
another kill.
bottom
He's got
tower
3
is under
kills so
attack.
far for MSS.
Notice the IO skill though, by the way. I think this is what you're going to be seeing a lot. IO's going 2 in Tether. And then either, if it's a really... I feel like you still generally will see Spirits maxed. Oh, duel?
Yep. I go to the wrong side of the map. It's Weehaw.
Okay, for now.
Washbuckle away. Starts with the Rolling Thunder and Disruption's out. And one's going to come back into it. Quick jump away. When we miss our connect to Weehaw.
Zed's under attack.
Would you believe it? Now, Snaking is almost level 13, and Mind Control's level 10. Almost level 11, though. So it's a 2-level lead now for the Legion Commander. This one goes to CCNC. Kuro is coming in to threaten, but...
Well, he actually needs to resist the crossbite now. Mind Control. Yeah, doesn't want anything to do with Snaking. Jumps in. Kuro gets that let it go, but man! The hammer dropped. The relocate came in, and CCNC has himself a double kill.
That was super good communication from Newbee. CCNC is like, I'm gonna get this rune, I might need help. Legion is ready to TP in, they get the banish, they take the rune, they know that X wants to turn and try to get a kill for it with Kuro. They could call into the Maiden ulti, try to kill the OD. Legion's there, instantly press the attack, and they get 2 kills out of it with the OD ulti. That was very nicely done. Of course, that's one of those situations where Veil of Discord really comes in handy. The extra damage on the OD ulti just blew up Kuro as he was in there. And they get a tower for it too. Very nice sequence here coming in from Newbee.
They can keep this pressure up. Look at Snaking though, so he feels very confident. He's got his Blink Dagger, OD's got his. So double jump initiations available or saves, depending how you look at it.
Fighting is hard for Liquid right now.
Weehaw wants it though. He sees MSS, quick disarm, but doesn't stop the tether of Snaking away, and Weehaw chasing with the Rolling Thunder's gone a little too
Radiant's
deep.
middle
So
tower
he'll
is
just
under
do laps
attack.
around the
Where
room.
you watching? That's how it's done.
Meanwhile, Miracle still continues
Dire's
his
top
farm.
tower is under attack.
Almost at that Battle Fury.
So 16.5 is what it's going to be. That's a good timing. When you trial it like this, you don't have a totally free lane. I think he should be pretty happy with this. And yeah, kind of like last game, he's the guy to look toward. The way Liquid have been drafting in these two games, they're definitely putting a lot of eggs in the Miracle basket to have a good game. And I don't feel like this is a particularly great AM game, but I think it's good enough that if Liquid take 1 or 2 good fights, AM can carry this for sure.
Yeah.
The OD matchup is always interesting because it kind of goes both ways, right? OD has this massive pure damage from Arcane Orb, but at the same time you need to be careful not to get mana voided. He's resistant against your ulti as well as the Astral, but at the same time you can mana burn him too so he can't blink. So there's a lot of dynamic in this matchup that's actually really interesting to watch during fights. But I love to see from Miracle in this. It's kind of natural for him to do it in this game because he's against a trial lane anyway, but he bought a Magic 1. It's not an item you see on AM in every game, but this will guarantee him that he can 1 blink if he gets mana burned by OD, and it was necessary for his laning stage 2. So very good to have on the
Initiation's flying on the Courier at the moment to mind control.
Yeah, that's a big item. They need this. Like, it's still, like I said, it still feels hard for Liquid to initiate fights if they don't see where the saves are located. Who do you jump on? Like, if you could pick any hero in the game, like, I'm X-calling this guy, who do you choose? Gyro, he's going to get either relocated out, astraled, or disrupted. Any of the saves, they're going to get saved by each other. And if the fights go long, I don't think Liquid are favored. I think they need to burst. Long fights, when Pango ulti runs out, when the X call's expended, you're going to die to the Gyro.
Smoke's breaking, mind control, Blink gets the call off, but Rocklight dies, Snaky trying to break him free, give him some extra life with the overwhelming on, it work, and now with the dual ET splitter, it hits back pretty damn hard, but they're going to survive to throw it back, he's so with the whole life, but he's won't go down. IO trapped inside the river with the mana void, they just bring in just enough damage to finish the job, but it's still 2-for-1 trade-off. And Liquid, they smoked up. They were the initiators in this.
It is so hard to kill the Radiant if they're in good position. They almost got the Shadow Demon. That's in this situation. There's no minute play, right? You jump this guy. He can't get. You can't purge the Axe call. So even though he gets healed by the Legion, he's still taunted. But they don't have the damage. And then he saves himself, and the cavalry arrives. And yeah, they clean up 2 kills. I think that could have gone even worse for Liquid. Honestly, 2-for-1 is not the worst outcome of that situation.
If Snaky got another victory, then yeah, it would have gotten even worse. He's already at plus 30. And they're looking for their own initiation. And Snaky, he's actually waiting. They were chasing him before. But he's got his Observer Ward down, so he feels comfortable. Mind control, miss blinks. Obviously doesn't know the Snaking went up. But they're already pinging out the fact that, yeah, Observer Ward removed. CC&C pilot either coming in as well. But Miracle's starting to scale, and scale quick.
Yep. Gotta look at probably a Manta in 3 minutes.
Mind control. Misses the blink call. Disruption will begin. Snaking ready to go. He's got dual available. Mind control's not a healthy man. But they don't know exactly what's up the hill. They know there's an Observer Ward there. They keep scouting it out. Now they get rid of it.
Are they gonna fight? Okay, I'm actually really curious what's gonna happen on the runes right now. Liquid seem to be, yeah, they're giving up on the top.
Middle tower
now IO is scouting with the spirits, so they will get a 3rd one bottom. And 3-for-1.
Precious bounty.
And Liquid were the ones to TP, so that's like an extra little victory there. And the Blade Mail is now online. And this is a big item because you've seen these last duels from Snaky. He's been needing that little bit extra. With this Blade Mail, he can solo kill Anti-Mage. Flat out just kill him in a duel. And there's nothing Miracle can do about it except predicting that it's coming and not getting caught. They have no save. The best play they maybe have is like maybe Elder Titan can stomp in time, or there can be a Frostbite coming out, but
you kind of need like Yulset just to begin or something else. Nothing else really helps. You got Vlad's and you got Medallion from ET. That's his current assistance.
I could definitely see Yule's being a good pickup here. It might be better than the Vlad's, to be honest. I like that idea too. But yeah, who's going to get it now? Pango wants the Axe, Axe wants the Blade Mail.
Actually, then Snaky gets BKB, and then Yule's actually won't
Kuro
do
wants a brace. No.
Like how Kuro, he's got the money for it. He's like, nope, 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 nope. I can't expend this cash. Weehaw and Mind Control looking for their own opening on bottom lane. Weeha's going for the Aghanim style build.
Radiant's middle tower is under
attack. Heavy damage output increase. Mind Control is going to get Blade Mail too. Can cause some problems for Newbee when they're getting aggressive.
CCNC is big.
Yeah.
He's really farmed this game. He is still ahead of the Battle Fury Anti-Mage, minute 21.
Koro's going to break Blink him. There's your first duel out, Legion Commander. Look at Pango. He is really killing himself, but they sleep him off. Pango needs to jump away into the rolling thunder. He'll get the jump down. From CCNC. The damage is going to kill off CM. But now with Pango, we are back into the fight again. You have enough damage control on Snaking to get Miracle the kill off, and a triple kill from CCNC.
Oh!
Quick Blinks away, and Miracle's back up the road.
That's a rare one from GH there. I wonder if we're going to get a replay of that. He mistimed his stomp by a half second.
I'm fairly certain we can get a replay.
On the OD. That could have maybe been an escape route for him, but it ends up being 3 kills going the way of CCNC for only the one of Miracle killing off Snaking. CCNC very quick to self-Astral, so he didn't get mono voided, and then Miracle's like, meh, I'll get this other guy. Guess that's also fine. But yeah, that fight was a little bit scrappy, and you saw the Frostbite actually did work.
Yeah, here we go.
He blinked. Yeah, so we're going to see the Blink Blade Mail coming in here onto Weeha, and then a very quick Frostbite from Kuro lowers the damage enough that Weeha does stay alive initially. And now we're going to see the OD ulti just barely doesn't hit Weeha, so he gets the Rolling Thunder off. And now things are starting to look dicey for CCNC. Takes a lot of damage. The amp comes in. Very quick Astral, and now look at the stomp from GH. How mistimed that was. Astral back into live until Miracle. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Into was the mid lane. He was just a little bit too far out, farming aggressively. And he's got Weeha trapped in the tree lines. He'll shield crash himself up the hill. They're trying to keep the spirits up there so they can jump up, but that's why Weeha rolling boulders down and then rolling thunders away to safety.
Oh, he needs to not die to Side Gunner. Oh, that was actually a bit dangerous what he just did. Rolling past the gyro with Ags, but he was fine. Yeah, honestly, Newbee just looked really good. I like their draft. I really like the way they're playing.
You love the CCNC. He's had 2 huge games, well, back-to-back.
Absolutely. He's been playing really good Dota in these 2 games, and once he gets the BKB in this one, you feel like this is the kind of game that he can almost, you know, in any given fight, he can just be the absolute difference maker. He has huge damage potential. He has some good matchups. We talked about a couple of the Liquid heroes have pretty bad base intelligence and intelligence gain. He can punish them with that ulti really easily. With the Veil build-up too, we only talked about how it affects his ulti. It's really good for his team too. Overwhelming odds, Shadow Poison, the gyro damage, hugely magical with Maelstrom, Call Down, Homing Missile, the Spirits. It's just all coming together really nicely for Newbee in this game. And you look at Liquid's lineup, and you got to play the AM game. That's just that's the strat. That's what you have to do. And Anti-Mage is not ready.
No.
He needs Scotty and maybe another item after. Maybe a Butterfly, maybe an Abyssal, so that he can initiate a fight. But there's always that threat of the duel that Miracle has to play around. And that's difficult. It's actually really difficult.
And it keeps getting stronger and stronger too. Like you talk about like the damage output and how Liquid can go against it, but I just keep watching that dual damage tick up plus 48 at the moment.
Yeah, and every time
the attack speed's increased up with the 15 talent.
And when Miracle gets stronger, he hits himself harder too. So in the Blade Mail, right?
Yep.
It's not easy.
That's why he needs a Scotty, right? He needs the extra life, he needs to sustain.
Yeah, but it also gives him more attack speed and damage. So, I mean, I don't know. The equation probably favors the defensive aspect by a bit, but not by that much.
She's mine.
Radiant structures
obviously,
are fortified.
You know, you do a lot of damage as AM in this duel.
Get inside the jungle, farm up anti-mage's areas, put down observers and sentries, so Newbee can get some information. Because how long could this game go on? It's like game 1, we went through it. I was like, you know what? Okay, this was fun, but we kind of knew where the end of the tunnel was. In this game, like, where is the end? Like, an OD is terrible at pushing high ground. You've at least got great split pushing power, but how does Newbee win this game against Liquid?
If they take a good fight, you can take towers relatively quickly with a gyro Ags. If you think about it, the Ags side gunner fire rate being 1.1, it's almost like having a double damage, right? When it's only the tower you can hit, that extra hit every second is really useful for pushing when he gets his first damage item. He has a Maelstrom, which doesn't really do anything with towers, but once he gets, let's say, a Butterfly or maybe an MKB, you start taking towers.
It's quite problematic for Snaking. Like, he's got to battle up against these illusions of the AM, but he doesn't have enough mana to do press the attack, duel, and blade mail.
Soul Ring.
He has, oh, you're right, he has Soul Ring. We can get enough in then.
unless if he's dry, then that's still not enough. But you can still, even if you're dry, you can still blink blade mail duel. So sure, you don't have your press the attack, but the aim is going to do the full damage to himself. And if you have one ally nearby, that should be enough to get the kill off.
Great observer to see so much. Sees Yuan coming up through the rune point. As we can't trying to put this Aghanim Scepter to work, just bouncing around everywhere. But as GH caught in the back lines, can't get the stomp off in time. The homing missile actually changing his target over towards Weeha. Caught inside the call down. So he'll go down to the dual combination, and letting it go allows Mind Control to TP away to safety. Makuro trapped up inside the tree lines, and Team Liquid, they've already lost 3, they've killed the support, and now they're going to lose their final support as well. And it's a dual kill. Plus 74 now on snaking. And Team Liquid, and you thought they're having the AM game, but Miracle just seems to die so quickly in these fights too.
Yep.
They saw him coming, they had the observer board down.
Anti-Mage is not ready yet. This is still, I feel like this fight is almost unwinnable for Liquid, because Anti-Mage the Heroes is not good right now in the game. It needs more time. And sure, the Rolling Thunder there from Weeha, again, really good defensive spell usage from Newbee, right? CCNC with a perfect self-astral, that they had the heroes in the right positions to dodge out. I think the Rolling Thunder maybe hit nothing, or one hero once. And once that runs out, we're talking about in these extended fights, what if Liquid really got it? Like, if they don't burst somebody in the Axe Call and in the Rolling Thunder, their damage is weak. It's just flat out weak. So they have to be able to get these initial kills, and they're just getting outplayed and moved, really. Newbee are playing super, super good Dota. If they can keep up this kind of level of play, they could definitely be a possible upper bracket team from this group.
They are hunting. Here comes Mind Control, in for the call. MSS is there for the tether. Have they got the damage to kill off the Gyrocopter with Mind Control's Blade Mail? They do. They burn through the Aegis Immortal. The duel is out, and Anti-Mage, he turns it around with the Spell Shield. It doesn't matter. AM is still dead. Mind Control can't run himself away from this. Or can he? With the shield crush down, no he can't. He wants himself a double kill. CCNC wants his own. They're waiting for Weeha to get out of Rolling Thunder, so they can go at him again with a defensive imprisonment. Weeha still can't finish the job on sneaking. Finally, he has a double kill down, but so is the cooldown. Weeha will get out of range for the second missile, but not the homing one. Mango will fall. Buybacks available. GH couldn't help him out anymore. That's the closest fight that we've seen Team Liquid have, and that wasn't close at all.
Yeah, it was next to their own tower, and this time it felt like they got a good jump, right? They got the blink call out on the gyro with the blade mail on. He does kill himself once. The relocate failed because of a good stun cancel. You couldn't really have asked for much more there for Liquid, except for the last 10 minutes to be different, right?
Yeah.
And again,
or to kill one of the other cores and not just the supports.
And I love it from Snaking. You know, just wait for the Anti-Mage. Let him come in. If he wants to fight, he's gonna kill himself. Like, he's soloed him. You know, this aim just dies. And I kind of fundamentally disagree with the way Liquid have been trying to play the last 10 minutes, but it's always easy to, from the observer standpoint, to be like, just dodge them, you know? Yeah. Just don't get caught, just don't fight. But if they feel super cornered on the map and like they have to do something, you have to do something. But I can tell you, this is not what Miracle wants.
No.
At this point, 30 minutes in the game, in a good AM game, you have the Scotty plus another item. He's very far behind par now on the AM. And it's one of those games now where unless you somehow either dodge for 10 minutes and get AM to his timing, or that's
They look for the 30-minute rune, and I'm surprised they looked for it.
That was just flat out naive. They're getting desperate, Toby. That's not Liquid.
Snakey's looking for their own fight.
That was a 2-man jump on a bounty rune with 5 heroes missing.
Yeah, I'm very uncertain. I thought we were going to keep on farming. That's why I wasn't even moving the camera for it.
They even have a ward on their own top bounty rune, so they knew nobody from Newbee was up there. And they still go for this jump, just super greedy for that bounty. And yeah, I mean, easy punish.
He's hit the duel, but over on the illusion. That's how Miracle survives. He just needs Snaking to choose poorly.
Yep.
That was not the Holy Grail.
Good quick Manta.
Yeah, Snaking had to make a choice though.
Yeah, you have to try.
He had a 1 in 3.
Exactly, you gotta try, man. Let's go for it.
He's still sitting at plus 100 though. Pretty standard.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's building into his own BKB. A lot of the stuns, a lot of the magical damage, like it's just not going to threaten him at all.
Queen on top. Oh my god. Okay.
Well, the hammer's been burnt. Weeha will heal up.
Radiant's bottom
That's
tower
really good
is
for
under
Liquid.
attack.
That gives them a potential. No, it doesn't. It doesn't give them a potential fight. They still lose the fight without OD ult yet.
Yeah, you now have blink sights from CCNC. It's
Yeah. That's another issue for AM, and he can't. I mean, he can spell shield it, but if OD BKBs at least, then doesn't self hex. But you gotta be so careful now as Liquid. In a way, you gotta try to play defensive. In another way, you're like, okay, OD is down. It's not gonna get better than this. We just got our Scotty on Miracle. We will try this fight. I don't think they're favored, but if everything connects,
they find Yuan. They want to kill him off quickly. CNC, is there a defense if there's a relocate? The Badgeman's also in there, but what's really left? Kuro's letting it go. Seeking will jump in. He'll start the door. Crystal Maiden stands no chance here at all. Another victory their way, but Liquid are in full retreat.
Damage!
that was a pretty funny situation. Yawar insta BKB'd the jump, so then CCNC couldn't save him with Vanish, but they can reload him out. So one of their saves works on BKB and the other two don't. But again, if any save is nearby, it just doesn't die to this Axe call. And Liquid should be happy they only lost a Maiden there. That looked like it could have been a total travesty, but...
Hey, this is just buying them time. Miracle's getting his farm in.
Yeah.
He's able to push out the lanes. You're getting something. Like, I'm not saying that Team Liquid are in a great position. Like, the net worth's not looking good their way. Once again, the experience. Like, there's not even an Alchemist in this game. It's 30,000 is the experience advantage for Newbee right now.
This doesn't look like the kind of game that AM can be the only core in anymore.
Yep.
I think even if they let Miracle free farm, as long as they farm themselves, I don't think he wins it anymore. I think he needs
Radiant's
a
middle
teammate
tower
to step
is
up
under
here.
attack.
We need some damage out from this Pango.
He's
We need
got-
Axe to get
Radiant's middle
anything.
tower
He's gone
There's
Aeon
no
disc.
items. Axe has such a terrible game right now. Remember how we said how good Mind Control's games were set up to be?
Yep.
He had such a good start in the laning stage. He makes 2 or 3 rotations to help his teammates out, and he sacrificed his own game hardcore for that. So...
And now Weeha and Miracle are actually battling over neutral camp farming.
yeah, they just don't have very much space on the map to work with right now. Snake King is hoping that somebody's gonna go fishing bottom. Doesn't look to be
CCNC's
the
hoping
case, though.
someone will fight up on top. Because if anyone comes to fight, he just blinks in, he gets the scythe, and the relocate gets the follow-up. And Snaking, yeah,
Yep.
he's making his own movement up. Hide in the trees, wait for Liquid to come to you.
I would have loved to see Miracle send in one illusion here. Maybe he could have baited something. He doesn't know they're here, but he has a feeling, clearly. If he sends in one illusion, maybe he gets a free duel out of that, or maybe the OD Hex reveal. Snaking? Oh, almost got him.
Weeha, he needs some
he will
distance.
connect it.
GH gonna put down the Spirit, wants to get the sleep off. Relocate's
Hex.
coming in, great movement of the Spirit. Going further down south, where she stuns up the relocating into Io and Gyro. But Mind Control, he just doesn't have the life. CCNC's gonna protect himself with the BKB as Mind Control attempts to shoot, blinks himself away. Is there a stun? There's a banish from Pylon Die. That'll do the work, and Mind Control will fall.
I actually thought CCNC was going to hex the Pango out of the duel, but he went to hex the Axe instead, so the counter initiate isn't there. Both plays are good in different ways. When watching that, it's probably better to hex the Pango and get that kill, because, I mean, sure, Axe can jump in, so what? You have all these saves. Like, he's not going to kill anyone. But, yeah. He got that guy instead. It's also another good kill. Axe is once again slowed down. Bounties are coming up.
Oh, the blink in from CCNC.
He didn't know.
He still got plus 32 intelligence and hits with the Sandy's a clip. Miracle, no way he can survive that. Kurup gets his own TP out to safety. He'll be okay. But you lost your big one. Ahem's down for the count again. And maybe they find more. Weeha, the Aeon Disc will trigger. Swashbuckle, a shield crash, as deep as he can possibly get. Snakey's looking for him as well. This is one thick bush. They can't see him through it.
And Snaking TP's away straight into mid to put some pressure here and try to push. Miracle knows there's a Hex and OD in this situation. He knows. If it has been communicated properly, Axe has said, okay, there's a Hex and OD, but he still takes the risk here, and that's expensive. That's a really big death. It's 4 bounties, it's a tier 3, or 3 bounties, excuse me. 3 bounties, tier 3.
Snake is itching. He's really hoping for a grab on Kuro.
Dyer's middle barracks are
No
under
Glimmer Cape, no protection. Mind Control gets the call off, can drag Yuan underneath the tier 4 towers, but only for a half second.
He establishes
Weeha,
distance.
here comes your jump forward with the Rolling Thunder, going through 3 heroes, trying to bounce them in and around the ramp area. But now that's done. The melee ranks is opened up.
Gyro Satanic is such an incredible item against Axe in so many ways. Status resistance is great. If you activate it before you get Blink Blade Mail called, you can heal yourself up during the call. You have health. It's just, it's such a nice item to have here where you are. You just see why there. Very.
Are scanning.
I was gonna say very good discipline to back off, but in a way I kind of feel like they could have got this, maybe? The ranks? They had OD Hex ready, they had no Pango ulti. At the same time though, there's no Sanity's Eclipse. Gyro and Io had relatively low resources, so I honestly don't really mind them backing off here. I just think keep up the pressure once you have OD ulti. Go for another fight.
They probably also want to be a little bit safe. If you look at the KDA, it's 12-0-3 on CC&C. And Yoa's walking around with 10-1-4. Like, these are two big kills. Even if they lose, even if Liquid get one of these.
Yeah, it's worth dying 2 or 3 heroes for, almost. Unless one of them is AM, that is not.
Here's your run forward. AM illusions. There they are, because, hey, smoke don't break. But Liquid, they have the high ground for the moment. Ward gets de-warded out, so snaking. Just removing that extra information of Team Liquid. And they're already retreating out. Like, Weeha's got bottom. They could try and contest Roshan. He will respawn in 36 seconds. It's a long spawn timer that Newbee have had to wait for.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
God, there's so much money actually on Miracle.
Wonder if you give the OD the Aegis this time and just the cheese on Io and you feel like Gyro will not die. Logically, it's also good to give the Aegis to Gyro because he's your high ground sieger so he gets damaged safely, but in a way it feels like, how is Yawar gonna die? Like, how are they actually gonna kill him if the Io has a cheese and he has the Satanic? I'm wondering what they're gonna do here. I honestly, no matter what they choose, I think it's fine.
It's like you gotta be able to pop MSS before he can do anything else, but then you've also got disengage after you get the pop.
Yeah, how do you pop Wisdom? He's got 2 saves. Like, there's an SD with a save, there's an OD with a blink save. I can tell you from experience.
Oh, Axe! Oi! Oh, mind control. This may be his 9th death. He turns on the blade mail, but Yawad's on the chase. The home missile's coming as well. The call now is not on target. Mind control not protected anymore. The Glimmer Cape is walled off, and Yawad just goes for the double kill. Moves out, goes out for Koro, while Anti-Man gets trapped. A little bit further down, Weeha banished. He actually got the Thunder off, but no, he doesn't. Down he goes for the double kill. Mind control brought back just in case his 9 deaths when already an economical problem. And this will be Roshan, or it'll be mid-racks, or it'll be both.
I'll tell you from experience, if you're playing against these lineups with 2 or 3 saves, if you don't have good silences, like Silencer Global, or, you know, heroes with very useful silences, or really strong team fight, getting kills is so hard. Liquid's fights are not taken terribly. It's just really difficult. Like, engaging onto this if Newbee are on their toes and have good positioning feels next to impossible, and I just think, again, in this game, Newbee's strategy is exceptional. They're playing really good draft, they're playing really good Dota, and I'm super impressed. I was not expecting this to be a 2-0 for them, which looks very likely at this point. They're very far ahead in the game. We'll get Roshan too. Yeah, it's a really strong shot for them.
It's clean Dota. Everyone's playing their role. All lanes seem to be doing something too, and you're just not feeling that from Team Liquid. Like, it's the Miracle show, great, but like unless Miracle goes big, you're not going to see his presence. And mind control. Like it feels so sad for this guy. He's always been looking for the greatest way to run the off lane, but that's now his 10th death in this game after what was the best start he could have asked for.
I'm looking at Mind Control's game, and I'm looking at his kill, and I'm like, what the hell is he supposed to do in this game, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think if you want to ult him mainly for anything, it's probably for the rotations he did early, but that's not an easy decision to make. He could have stayed top and got really rich, but that costs his team a bit. Like, then he has to sacrifice a couple of heroes in this bottom or mid lane instead of coming to help his team. But in the end, like, his game is just extremely difficult, and he has to go for his team. Who else is going to engage?
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you gotta jump, right? If you're not letting the enemy team totally control the game.
Koro's going to engage. He jumps in, goes for the frostbite. He takes so much damage. He's almost going to die from this. And maybe with MSS, though, just Yule dodges. Weeha's jump forward. He's for the hits on nothing, but Miracle does get the backline. Killing off Pipeline. Tossing out the buyback, but there is the Hex out, and they got the control. DCNC's so damn low. He's actually got not enough life. Or does he? Still alive. Weeha. Okay, that's nothing again. He's not live. Liquid just die. And then there's no more damage to be done. Kuro will let it go. But this is 2-0 in favor of Newbee. They start off their TI19 campaign with a hell of a lot of strength. Solid Dota all round from Newbee and Liquid. Man, it feels begging of what game they were looking to turn up to play here.
They're the kind of team, though, that will have a series like this and they will analyze it and they will realize what went wrong and what they need to do. I personally feel like the drafting from Newbee in both games was better. I think their individual plays were also better. But there's a lot you can do after the first series. After all, you're playing 8 series in the groups. And this is just the beginning for Liquid, and
it's about first series of
it's about picking yourself up, right? So, you know, you got to go back to the drawing board and change a couple of things here. But more than anything, you just got to give credit to Newbee. I honestly think it was more them playing exceptionally well than it was Liquid totally dropping the ball today in this series. But obviously, you would have liked to see more out of Liquid. It was definitely not their best showing. But man, Newbee looked great.
They do.
Good Dota.
I want to see more Dota from them. But for now, we will have ourselves a quick break and we'll be back for the second series of the day. Don't worry, you got a lot of Dota. There's 5 series in total across 4 different streams today. Go and watch them all. We'll see you in a bit.